A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all-old-time radio.
Now stay tuned for X-1 on NBC. Countdown for blast-off. X-5, 4, 3, 2, X-1, fire. From the far horizons of the unknown come transcribed tales of new dimensions in time and space. These are stories of the future, adventures in which you'll live in a million could-be years on 1,000 maybe worlds. The National Broadcasting Company, in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, presents X-1. Tonight, The Defenders, based on a story by Philip Dick.
And now we bring you a special film of the destruction of San Francisco by radioactive pellets, released this week by robots of the Asian Confederation. This bombing was televised by robot cameramen of the Western Confederation as it took place. What you are about to see is a rebroadcast. Here you see the heroic robots, the leadys, who defended San Francisco against the dastardly attack. Of course, since all human life has been under the surface of Earth for 16 years, there was no actual loss of life in the sense we know it. Still, the vicious destruction of Western leadys by this sneak attack by Asian robots.
The surface war. The surface war, that's all we hear. It's all everybody works for. 90 cents out of every dollar goes for the surface war. Every man, woman, and child is either inventing new weapons or manufacturing robots to fight for us or taking care of the people who are doing the inventing or manufacturing.
Mary, take it easy.
I'm sorry, Dad.
Maybe you've been working too hard at the university.
Maybe.
How's the study coming?
All right.
Colonel Moss was asking about it only today over at Supreme Headquarters.
I'm still working.
Mary, you haven't mentioned the enemy much.
Oh, what's there to say?
Well, is he as hateful as ever?
He hasn't been feeling well.
Pity. I hope he doesn't die. After all, he's the only living captive member of the Asian Confederation. How old is he, by the way?
34.
Oh, you're joking, of course.
No.
Mary, Western society only moved under the surface of the Earth some 16 years ago. Now, that would mean that the enemy was captured when he was only a boy.
Yes.
He told you this?
Oh, no, he tells everyone he's 42. I deduced it from inconsistencies in his statements.
Well, that's a little dangerous, isn't it?
Well, you're the only one I've told, Dad.
I wish you wouldn't even tell me these things.
Do you expect your friend Colonel Moss to pop out from under the bed?
Now you're being facetious. It's no laughing matter, Mary. The whole concept of the enemy is so charged emotionally...
And so full of lies.
Mary!
It's true. I've been talking to him for 6 months now. He's just an ordinary young man who happens to have had the bad luck to come to symbolize every hated thing we fight against.
I've heard him speak. He is hateful.
He knows what to say if he wants to keep alive.
Mary, I won't hear any more of this.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dad. I suppose it doesn't serve any useful purpose.
It isn't that. I'm thinking of your own safety. If remarks like this were overheard, do you know what they do to traitors?
I've heard they turn them over to the leadys.
They're taken up to the surface. As they approach it, the radioactivity begins to destroy them. And by the time they reach the top...
I'll be careful.
Good. Now then, why don't we stop this morbid talk? How about turning on some music,
All right. Dad,
Yes?
what was it like
What?
on the surface?
Don't you remember?
Mm-mm.
Oh, no, of course not. You were only about 6 at the time. Well, it's best not to talk about it too much.
Tell me, Dad, please.
Well, it was quite different from living underground. We lived in a valley, your mother and you and I. There were pretty farms along the floor of the valley, little white houses and green fields and trees.
Oh, and there were birds.
Yes. I'm afraid the birds are extinct now.
It must have been hard for you those first years underground.
It wasn't pleasant. But I had my work at the War Institute. There was so much to be done then, building the leadys to take over the surface war, designing the pneumatic tubes to get supplies and weapons up to the robots, organizing the robot councils on the surface, and, of course, the constant fight against radiation leakage. Well, we're still working on that one.
I wonder what my life would have been like if it hadn't happened. About all I know is metal walls and great roaring factories and barracks.
Nobody wants to live this way, my dear. We have to. Someday, when the enemy is defeated...
What makes you think he'll be defeated? The Asians are just as secure underground as we are.
When our leadys conquer theirs...
Dad.
What is it?
Dad, the enemy, the one I've been interviewing.
I thought we weren't discussing him.
He mentioned a word to me.
A word?
Yes. It seems to me that I heard it before when I was a little girl.
It's best to forget these things.
No, I don't know what it means. It might even be a bad word, but I have to ask you.
I'd rather not.
Please?
Well?
The word was peace. Oh, Dad, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. I think I'll go up to my room. I have to get up early. I'm taping an interview with the enemy. Excuse me.
Get me the Director of Internal Security.
Yes?
Moss, this is Donald Taylor.
Yes, Donald.
It's about my daughter.
Mary?
Yes. She's been working with the enemy, as you know, compiling a new study.
Yes?
I'm afraid from some of the things he's told her that he may not be completely sane.
Oh?
I thought perhaps you might, supervise their relationship a little more. After all, she's been spending almost 6 months in his company, several hours a day.
I see what you mean.
Now, I don't mean to suggest that anything has happened already. Her attitude's...
Don't concern yourself about it. Everything will be handled discreetly.
The enemy is waiting inside, Miss Taylor.
Good. Is the recording and filming equipment ready to go?
All checked and ready.
You've checked the restraint suit on the prisoner?
Yes, miss.
You may leave us alone.
Just buzz when you want me, Miss Taylor.
I will. Thank you, guard. Hello, hateful one.
Hello, beloved.
How are you?
Feeling no pain?
I thought about you last night. I talked to Father.
Be careful.
Oh, it's all right.
Oh, this can't go on, Mary. Sooner or later, someone will suspect.
I don't care. I love you.
Mary. Well, you'd better get something on tape. If anyone comes in.
All right. Tape number 425X. Subject, recorded interview with captive ZN2, former soldier of the Asian Confederation and enemy of the Western Confederation.
I'm Joseph Kali, serial number ZN2, former soldier of the Asian Confederation.
What were you taught to believe concerning the people of the Western Confederation?
I hate them with all my heart. They are inhuman and to be destroyed.
What is your objective?
It is the objective of my people to enslave all members of the Western Confederation and to utilize them for the benefit of the masters of the Asian Confederation.
Did you ever witness any murder of members of the Western Confederation?
I was a pilot in a group which dropped radioactive dust on women and children who were preparing to be evacuated underground. I myself killed some 15,000.
We will discontinue the interview to check the quality of the recordings. And to kiss the lips of the captive from the Asian Confederation. Oh, Joseph. I can't tell you how it pains me to hear you mouthing this stuff.
It keeps me alive.
If there were only some way to escape, some place to go.
The surface is the only place to go. And the radioactivity kills you in 40 minutes with the thickest lead suit.
Sometimes I think even 40 minutes of freedom would be worth it.
40 minutes of pain?
If that's the price, then
For myself, I wouldn't care. But for you, Mary.
If there were a way to reach the surface...
There is.
Colonel Moss.
This has been, I must say, a most interesting interview to hear.
You heard it.
From the beginning. We had the room wired this morning.
Then you know.
Yes.
What's going to happen to us?
To you, nothing. Because of my friendship for your father and your own youth. We will simply require that you remain silent about anything that has happened.
And Joseph?
The enemy will be handed over to a D-class leady at the mouth of the tube and taken to the surface. We will perform the entire operation with a ceremony and a public announcement.
He'll die.
Precisely.
No. Please.
Now you'd better go. Your father is waiting outside.
Joseph.
Mary, do as he says.
Joseph, I love you.
Take her out.
Please let me say goodbye to him.
Remove her.
Joseph, please. Please let me stay, please. Father?
Yes?
Did you talk to Colonel Moss?
Yes.
And?
He'll permit you to come along and watch the ceremony, provided...
Provided?
There's no display of any sort. And, of course, a public denouncement of the whole matter. He's prepared a statement to the effect that the enemy tried to dupe you, that he used hypnosis, etc., etc. Well?
I'll sign it.
The ceremony is at the foot of the tube tomorrow morning at 6. At that hour, the enemy will be handed over to a D-class leady, which is being brought down from the surface. Remember your promise.
Detail! Halt! The prisoner is ready to be turned over, sir.
Is the robot here?
The robot is arriving now.
I'll give the orders. I wish to converse with it.
Yes, sir. The robot has landed at the foot of the tube, sir.
Switch on the intercom. Robot.
Robot N71.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We have a prisoner to turn over. He is to be taken to the surface and destroyed.
Yes, sir.
Before we send him into the radiation lock, there are a few questions the military would like to have answered.
Yes, sir.
How is the war going on the surface?
The war continues. We are a little short of fast pursuit craft, the single-seat type.
It will be noted.
Our missiles pounded the Euro munitions plant of the Asian robot team last night with good results.
Excellent. Are you ready to receive the prisoner?
I am ready.
I must warn all observers to remain behind the lead wall when the radiation lock opens. A few seconds exposure to a hot leady is enough to cause serious damage. Prisoner, step forward.
Father.
Steady, Mary. Remember your promise?
Yes. Is he?
He's there.
Oh, if I could only see him alone a minute.
It's out of the question. Keep well behind the lead wall.
Ready?
Ready, Colonel.
Open the lock. Step into the lock, prisoner.
He's in with the leady. You can almost feel the radiation. By now, he's as good as dead.
Lower the door.
No! Wait! Joseph! Joseph!
Mary, come back!
Hold the door!
Mary!
Robert! Remove the woman and take the prisoner to the surface. Hurry!
She'll be burned to death.
Don't go out there. The lady is pushing her out. Close the lock!
Mary!
Sergeant! Get a technician in a radiation suit to pick her up. Have her shielded and brought to the decontaminating chamber.
Yes, sir.
My daughter.
You'd better get into a lead suit, Donald. We'll see what we can do to save her. don't understand it.
What's wrong?
She's cold, not a trace of radiation.
You mean the leady wasn't radioactive?
It's impossible. Those robots are exposed to enough radiation in an hour to kill a regiment.
Well, could the counter be defective?
I checked it. No, it must be some freak. Somehow she avoided exposure to the rays. Yeah, you're a very lucky man, Professor.
Can I see her?
Yes. Go in.
Thank you. Mary,
Hello, Dad.
did they tell you you're going to be all right?
Yes.
Well, you don't seem overjoyed.
Should I be?
You really care for this murder of women and children?
Dad, for the last time, Joseph never murdered any women and children. He confessed to those crimes to keep alive.
Well, we won't discuss it. You're safe. That's all that matters.
Was he taken up?
Yes. By now, he's gone.
I don't believe it.
Mary.
I don't believe it. Somehow, deep inside me, I know he's alive. Somehow, I knew that leady wasn't radioactive.
That leady. Yes, that's puzzling. We'll have to investigate that. I'm going to send an order to the surface asking that the same leady be sent down again. There's something very strange about the whole business.
The tube is arriving with the leady as you requested, Professor.
Good. I'm going in to examine it.
Isn't that dangerous, even with the suit on, sir?
It won't take me long.
Very well. He's reached bottom.
Open the lock.
Father.
Hold it. Mary, what are you doing here in a radiation suit?
This is the same leady, isn't it?
Yes. I was just going in to examine it.
I want to go with you.
Why?
This is the leady that took Joseph up. I want to speak to it and find out.
Now, Mary, why torture yourself?
It's more torture this way. I have to know. If he's alive or dead, I have to know.
He's dead.
The leady will know. Please, Father, please.
Very well. Close your helmet. Open the lock, guard.
Ready, Mary?
Ready.
Let's go in. You're Robert N71?
I am.
The same who escorted the prisoner to the surface this morning?
Yes.
Is he?
He is dead. The radiation killed him before he reached the surface.
Oh, no.
Steady, Mary. Robert,
Sir?
you accompanied him to the surface?
Yes.
You've been exposed.
I've fought in 3 battles.
Then explain something.
Sir?
According to a counter I have concealed in my suit, you're cold. Not a trace of radioactivation. How do you explain this? Well? Answer me. That's an order.
I must return to the surface.
Not till you answer me.
I must return to continue fighting the war. Do not attempt to stop me.
I again...
Daddy has a ray gun.
Look out! Keep back. I've shorted him with the metal counter. He'll be burned out in a second. That was close.
I thought these robots were unable to harm their masters.
He might have been bluffing, but I couldn't take a chance.
Why do you suppose he did it?
I don't know. But I'm beginning to suspect something so fantastic that I've got to find out about it.
Find out?
Leave the tube, Mary.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to the surface.
What?
My suit will protect me for about 5 minutes up there.
No humans have been up to the surface for years. It's illegal.
I know all about that. Now, will you leave the tube?
No. I'm going with you.
Mary, please.
If you go, I go with you.
All right. Hang on. I'm going to start the elevator. Here we go. Stop. Father, what was that? It sounds like a rooster.
It's impossible. There's no living thing on Earth.
Open the car door.
Father.
Mary, do you see what I see? Trees, forests, a windmill, and farmhouses. Look, we must be dreaming.
Father. Birds, look.
It's unbelievable. Oh, no, I can't believe it. I can't.
Raise your hands, both of you.
It's a leady.
Do as he says. He's armed.
Good. I am Alpha 5, chairman of the Surface Council.
What's this all about? Where's the war? The ruins? What's happened here?
Can't you guess?
The war.
There is no war. There hasn't been any war for 15 years.
No war? But the guns, the munitions...
We've been destroying them as fast as you sent them to the surface.
And the Asians?
Their robots have been destroying their arms also.
Why? How did this happen? What about those films of the destruction of San Francisco? What about those televised reports, the bombings, the slaughter?
Models.
Models?
We have a full-time division of A-class robots who do nothing but photograph the progress of the fictitious war using scale models. The entire destruction of San Francisco, which you witnessed on your televisors, took place on a tabletop.
Well, how did this come about?
Quite logically. You created us to pursue the war for you, while you, human beings, went below ground to survive. But before we could continue the war, it was necessary to analyze it, to determine its purpose. We did this.
And?
We found it had no purpose. War, to the logical mind, is absurd, but it fulfills a need in human terms. The need to direct your hatred of yourselves away from you and on to others. Eventually, man will grow up enough so that he can face his own dislike of himself with humility. The time has almost come, as a matter of fact. Until it does come, we decided to preserve the illusion of war. Meanwhile, we rebuilt the cities, replanted the farms, and kept everything in readiness. We are the caretakers.
And what will happen to my daughter and myself?
You will remain on the surface with the others.
Others?
There is a small group of members of the Asian Confederation which came to the surface only a few months ago. They are farming a valley not far from here. By the way, you may remove your radiation suits. There is no radiation.
You said the others. Does that mean that the prisoner, the one who...
He is alive and well.
Father, he's alive. Where is he?
In a farmhouse not far from here. He has rejoined some of his people.
Would you take me to him? Can I see him?
Of course, if you will just follow me.
Wait. There's another car rising in the tube.
Stand aside.
Just remain where you are. Sergeant, take this leady into custody.
Yes, sir.
Well, Professor, this is quite a sight.
How did you happen to come here?
The guard told us you had surfaced. We found the shorted robot where you left it and discovered it was cold. So we decided we'd better investigate. Good Lord, what a shock this is.
A blessing, Colonel, not a shock.
Do the Asians know about this?
A few of them have surfaced, but the underground civilization is still ignorant of it. They think the war is going on just as our people do.
Don't say. You know what this means, don't you?
It means the end of the war. It means peace.
It means victory, Professor. It means we can mount a full-scale attack. We can drop hydrogen fission bombs right down their tubes. We can wipe out the whole race.
But there's no need. There's no war.
There will be. I'm returning underground to report this to Supreme Headquarters. You'll have to accompany me for security purposes.
You cannot do that, Colonel.
Since when does a robot give orders to a human?
We were constructed to protect you. In this case, we will protect you from yourselves.
Stand aside. We're going to the tube.
I will be happy to stand aside, but you will not be able to descend.
No? Well, we'll just see. Look out!
Father, what is it? What happened?
Look. Good Lord. They've destroyed the tube. We're sealed off.
Exactly. We have always had heat bombs in readiness for just such an emergency. Lead and rock are fused for a depth of some 10 miles. It will be years before your people can reconstruct the tube.
I don't believe it.
It makes no difference to us whether you believe it or not.
Men, destroy this robot.
There are many more.
Destroy him. Now.
Look, down the road. Humans. A bunch of humans coming toward us.
Why, they're waving.
Those are rations.
Joseph! Joseph! Father Joseph's with them.
Ready arms, men. As soon as they're close enough, I'll give the signal to fire.
Colonel, in heaven's name, they aren't even armed.
They're the enemy.
Our only hope for survival is to join with them. We'll need food and shelter. If we destroy them...
The professor is right, Colonel. We're cut off from our own people.
Sergeant, another word, and I'll have you court-martialed. Now, ready your weapons.
Men, don't do it. Our only hope now is peace.
Silence!
I've got to warn them. Go back! Go back!
All right, Professor, you asked for it. Now!
Father! Father, is he...
Colonel Moss is dead. Thank you, Sergeant. You've saved not only my life, but many others.
I couldn't see any other way, Professor. We gotta live, too.
Father,
Yes, Mary?
does this mean that we can have peace?
If we want it, Mary. If we really want it, we can have it.
You have just heard X-1, presented by the National Broadcasting Company in cooperation with Galaxy Science Fiction Magazine, which this month features the Clifford D. Simak novelette titled Drop Dead. The story of a perfect world, accommodating and peaceful. But how it got that way was less ghastly than how it stayed that way. Galaxy Magazine, on your newsstand today. Tonight, by transcription, X-1 has brought you the George Lefferts adaptation of The Defenders, based on a story from the pages of Galaxy written by Philip Dick. Featured in the cast were Lydia Bruce, Warren Parker, Grant Richards, Robert Dryden, Michael Ingram, Stan Early, and Ivor Francis. Your announcer, Fred Collins. X-1 was directed by Daniel Sutter and is an NBC Radio Network production.
Just outside the entrance to the Los Angeles harbor at San Pedro, a strange adventure is nearing a climax. The stolen Euclidean submarine with the Gregory party on board is racing across the Catalina Island Channel, and another Euclidean submarine, filled with scientists from the Magic Island, is hanging grimly to the Gregory boat by means of a magnetic beam. Joan is at the controls as total darkness covers the channel. The time draws near for their attempt to escape from the submarine.
Hey, Joan, we're picking up a little speed.
We do seem to be moving faster, Jerry. Why is that, Joan?
It is barely possible that the magnetic beam of the following submarine is weakening slightly.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. They've used that thing continuously for 7 hours. How about our getting the magnetic bombs back to them if that beam gets too weak?
Do not worry about that, Captain Bradford. The magnetic bombs will follow a line of electrical impulse no matter how weak.
Then we are absolutely sure we can hold that boat helpless, and we're ready to escape from this one?
Yes, Mother.
What's our position now, Joan?
We are nearly to the point you have established for Johnson to meet us with his sailboat, Captain.
How near?
We will reach the midway point between the breakwater and Catalina Island in less than 120 seconds.
2 minutes? Boy, let's do something about getting ready.
Yes, Joan. You haven't explained those escape chambers we're going to use.
The explanation is very simple. Jerry, will you please open one of those 4 large cylinders just forward of this compartment?
You mean we're going to get inside those little tanks?
Precisely. The covers are not locked. They will swing open easily.
Oh, okay, if you say so.
Now, Mother, if you and the captain will step over there near Jerry, I will make the explanation from here, as I must remain at the controls to stabilize our boat and release the magnetic bombs the instant we are in position.
Very well, Joan. Come on, Pat.
I'm a little nervous, Tex. This is getting very near the end of our journey.
Only the beginning of Magic Island, though. Wait till we go back and with some help and take the island away from old G-47.
It would be well to get out of here first, if you will allow me to explain these escape cells.
Go to it, Joan, and keep still, Jerry.
I'm still.
One moment. All hold firmly to your stations, and must now release the magnetic bombs. I think 2 would prove sufficient. However, I will use 4 to guarantee our safety.
Is that all there is to it, Joan?
That is all. The bombs have been released. In a few seconds, that magnetic beam will be broken.
Then we can make our escape from this boat.
Hey, what's going on here?
We're being tossed around.
I will take care of that.
Those bombs sure traveled half a mile and nothing flat.
Gee, did you ever hear so much quiet so quick?
You cannot hear quiet, Jerry.
Maybe not, Joan, but that silence was certainly sudden.
What happened, Joan, dear?
The moment we were released from that magnetic beam, our submarine started to spurt forward, and not wishing to run beyond the position of our meeting with Johnson's surface boat, I used all reverse jets. We are now stationary and will remain stabilized at this point.
Is Johnson due over us now?
Right this minute.
Well, then let's hurry and get up to him. I'd like to try being on top of the water for a while.
I will now explain the escape cells.
Joan, is it safe for you to leave the controls?
The submarine will not move from this spot.
Sure got these boats trained.
I told you to open these cells, Jerry.
Oh, I got excited and forgot it, I guess.
You just lift these covers off, Joan?
They will not lift off. Open them toward the shell of the submarine, in this manner. Each of you open your own.
There's mine.
Mine's open.
And there is mine.
Now we will need to work very rapidly. No one knows how great a margin of time we may have before the Euclideans find a way to interfere.
Oh, we're listening.
We must all take our places in these cells at once. If you watch me enter this one, you may all duplicate the action. Place your foot here, then step up here. Raise your weight by these holes on the shell, so. And lower your body into the cylinder, as I am doing. This is the final position.
Well, it's slightly more acrobatic than anything I've attempted for some time. But I think I can make it.
Oh, sure you can, Mrs. Gregory. Look, it's like this.
Yes, you move a little faster than I can, Jerry.
And much faster than I can.
Well, I'm in.
Right with you, son.
And I think... yes, I've made it at last.
There sure isn't any room to spare in these tin cans.
You will have ample room. Now, listen carefully. The procedure is this. We will ascend one at a time. You will find a small valve directly in front of your chest. With that, you may regulate the speed of your rise. Opening the valve wider accelerates the rate of speed. When you reach the surface, open the cover of the cell as it is now. And if the water is smooth enough, you may leave them open. Otherwise, keep them closed and watch through the ports for our rescuer.
Suppose you go first, Joan, and show us how it's done.
No, you will go first, Captain. I want you to be in a position to take charge of the rescue work with Johnson.
Right, Joan.
We will all close the covers of our cells. I will close mine last, so that I may open the valve flooding the submarine and opening the locks above us. You will leave first, Captain. You next, Mother. Then you, Jerry, and I will follow, after making sure the submarine is properly flooded so that it may not be easily moved from this spot.
Well, here I go. Good luck, everybody.
Oh, good luck, Tex.
See you on top, folks.
Hurry, we are losing time. Close your covers so that I may flood these locks and release us.
smooth anyway. Not a soul in sight.
Is that you, Tex?
Yes, Pat.
Do you see anything of Johnson?
Hey, anybody else floating around here?
Not so loud, Jerry.
It's impossible to swim with these things.
Just stay where you are for a minute.
Well, where's Joan?
I don't know.
Did you hear that?
Johnson.
Over here, Johnson. Coming right up.
I still don't see Joan anywhere.
What could have happened?
Now, take it easy. She said she had to stay a few seconds behind us to make sure the sub flooded.
I'm getting worried about her, Tex.
Ready to come aboard?
Yes, Johnson, thanks. I'll have to hang on to the gunwale and let this steel cylinder sink out from under me as I flood it.
We've got room for them here. If you want to keep one for study.
Don't dare. Magnetism. Tell you all about it later. Here I come.
You can reach Mrs. Gregory over the stern. And I'll swing the bow around to catch young Hall.
Go to it. Now, coming up, Pat. Can you reach the valve to flood that thing?
Yes, Tex. I'm all ready. But where's Joan?
We'll take care of that later. Here, give me your hand. Now, open that valve up. Now, hang on to my hand.
Ready, Hall?
As soon as I flood this tin can.
Oh, Tex. Back on a real wooden boat at last. And in our own friendly waters.
You're all set now, Pat.
But, Tex, where's Joan?
Hey! Come here, quickly! Tex! Mrs. Gregory! Get over here, quick!
Must have seen something. What is it, Jerry?
Go for that dark spot, quick! I'll help you.
What did you see, Jerry?
I don't know, but something came up out of the water, and it didn't look like one of those escape cylinders.
Joan. Oh, Joan.
Take it easy, Pat.
Here I am.
Where is Joan? And she's all right.
Oh, sure she's all right. That girl can take care of herself.
I'll say she can. Here, let me give you a hand aboard here, Joan.
Yes, Captain.
You're not hurt, are you, Joan?
No, Mother. I'm not hurt. But my cylinder was caught by the magnetic bombs.
Hey, then how did ours get away?
I released the balance of the bombs in order to ensure the stabilization of our boat. And the magnetic force spread more rapidly than I had counted on. It nearly stopped me.
And you mean to say you had to get out of that cylinder underwater and come up without it?
To be sure I did.
Well, that's a little too close. But we're all here. How about getting back home, Johnson?
Well, I think we can make about 6 knots in this breeze with nothing but sail.
Well, get it on as fast as you can.
Come on, Jerry. I can use you. No room for a crew on this small boat.
Tex, do you think we'll make it to shore?
Well, if Joan's right about how long those magnetic bombs will hold that other boat powerless, I don't see how we can be stopped.
That other boat will be stationary for approximately 2 hours. And their radio will be paralyzed for an even longer time.
That means we can make the shore, Tex. Even at 6 knots, we can make it in 2 hours easily.
Looks like we've done all right, Pat. And we owe everything, all of it, to Joan.
I did only what I had been trained to do, Captain.
That Euclidean training is mighty good, whether we like it or not.
It's almost too good.
Well, we're on our way to the mainland. We got all the sail up.
If you don't mind, I'd like to sit back here and check up on what it's all about, Captain. I can handle the tiller from here.
By all means, Johnson. Sit in. Now that we have time for it, a lot of thanks for some fine work all through this.
We're more than grateful, Johnson. You've been splendid.
It was like the old days with the captain. I enjoyed every minute of it. Though I must admit it did look pretty black there at times.
Oh, well, we've been in some mighty tight places since we left you at the same dock we're heading for now.
Oh, Johnson. I'm sorry, Joan. Johnson, this is Joan.
Well, young lady, I'm certainly glad to meet you.
It is a pleasure, Mr. Johnson. I am very happy to meet the man who can make up code messages with the captain extemporaneously and who always has a boat in the right place at the right time.
Well, not always, Joan. We came out right this time, and I'm certainly glad your mother found you.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I think I'd better take charge and acquaint Johnson with some of the things we're up against and get his story on this Euclidean who located our home radio station.
We'll all keep still, Tex. Go ahead.
Well, in the first place, Johnson, there's another submarine down there near ours. They hung on to us with a magnetic beam, and Joan paralyzed their boat with magnetic bombs. But that won't last forever. And when they get free, we can look for trouble. Not only that, but some musical genius on the island has figured out how to transmit musical notes which will wreck those boats. He nearly had us a couple of times.
Hey, what's that noise?
The boat is rocking badly.
Feels like we're over a volcano.
I know. Octavo has found a musical note.
Our submarine is being attacked. Those are the compressed air tanks exploding.
We didn't get out of that boat any too soon.
Golly, Whiskers!
The Gregory party is very near to their home port at last. Captain Bradford is standing in the bow of the small boat with which Johnson rescued them, talking to Johnson as they thread their way carefully through the small shipping of the outer basin. In the stern, Mrs. Gregory, Joan, and Jerry are talking as the boat glides into the harbor under sail. It is just before midnight of a very dark night. The harbor is unusually quiet as the small boat drifts easily before a 5-mile wind.
Oh, but Joan, I don't see how anything can happen to us now. Oh, we're nearly home.
We are some few miles from our anchorage, and then a drive by motor of more than 20 miles, is there.
That's right, Joan. But surely the danger is past now.
I am not so sure of that.
Oh, forget it, Joan. You act like these Euclideans could do just as they please all over the world. We got away from them, didn't we?
We did.
Then all their smart science and inventions didn't do them so much good after all.
You seem to forget that it was in a Euclidean submarine we made our escape, and our present safety is due to the perfection of Euclidean devices, which made it possible to leave that submarine far below the surface and rise to this boat.
Of course you're right, Joan. Euclideans are very clever, but after all, they can't always win.
You bet they can't. And 2 hours from now, we'll be safe at Mrs. Gregory's home.
I am anxious to see your home, Mother.
Your home, Joan, dear.
Yeah, and I'd kind of like to see my dad. Gee, you know, we've been going 3 months now, and I haven't had a chance to even send him a postcard.
Well, I think you'll find that Johnson has kept your father informed of our doings, Jerry.
I sure hope Dad doesn't know all that's happened to us, or he'd be plenty worried.
There is something very strange to me in that sensation you describe as worry. Until you came to Euclidia, I had never heard the word used. Now I understand what it means, and I am beginning to learn how to worry.
Well, why bother to learn to worry? Gosh, most people do plenty of that without even trying to.
Joan is struggling to understand our way of living, Jerry.
I think I may like it after I'm familiar with it.
Oh, Mrs. Gregory.
Yes, Jerry?
May I take Joan out and show her Hollywood Boulevard right away?
Well, hardly tonight, Jerry. It'll be nearly morning by the time we arrive at home, and you must hurry to see your father first.
Oh, sure. I meant tomorrow night.
Well, we'll see how things work out.
What is Hollywood Boulevard, Mother?
That's where you see all the moving picture stars.
Moving picture stars?
Hollywood Boulevard, Joan, dear, is a street that wants a bit of knowing and sometimes a great deal of understanding. But you'll enjoy it as you see it with Jerry.
I want to see the ladies' garments in the stores you have told me of, Mother.
Now, there's a job for you, Jerry. Take Joan around while she window shops in all the stores.
Oh, no, nothing doing. I'm not going to waste a lot of my time standing around while some girl looks at a lot of funny hats and dresses.
Well, I'll spare you that.
What is window shopping?
Gee whiz, Joan. I don't see how you ever got to be 15 years old and not learn anything.
Now, Jerry, Joan knows a great many things, even though they do constitute a strange education for our world.
Strange is right. Hey, Johnson and Tex are coming back here.
Yes, and they appear to be watching something in the sky.
Probably that Euclidean plane.
Oh, that plane. I had forgotten it.
Oh, so had I. But it looks like we're going to get a swell chance to remember.
I'd say it was the same plane, but I want to ask Joan.
What is it, Captain?
Johnson and I just discovered that there's a plane flying around over us.
Too dark to see it, and they're not showing any lights. But I thought I heard them cruising around with a very quiet motor some time ago.
Oh, but those Euclidean planes don't sound the same as ours, do they, Joan?
In this case, they would.
In this case?
Oh, sure. You don't know these Euclideans like we do. They think nothing of carrying two kinds of engines in a plane.
How about that, Joan?
This plane is undoubtedly equipped with an ordinary motor, so they will excite no suspicion when heard cruising around over the harbor.
Well, I should think the fact that they're running without light would excite plenty of suspicion.
Yes, it will, but no one will know what to do about it.
Well, what do you suppose they're flying around over here for?
Well, I would say some attempt would be made to prevent our landing.
When these fellows make attempts, it's usually a pretty good try.
I think we are in no immediate danger.
Joan feels that the Euclideans are not going to do us any bodily harm. But we've seen so much of their power that it's rather hard to believe anything particularly nice about them.
Well, one thing is certain. With this harbor all full of battleships and a carrier in there with a lot of planes on it, They're certainly not going to resort to any firing or bomb dropping.
The Euclideans have many weapons that are practically noiseless.
Well, that plane isn't noiseless by a long shot. I can hear it coming back in right now.
They will attempt to frighten us, I believe.
Well, they won't have to try very hard for me. I scare easy when those Euclideans are around.
That plane is coming down awfully fast.
Yes, it's coming right over us.
Sounds like a power dive.
And I'll bet there'll be a bomb at the bottom of it.
Oh, what can we do?
Nothing. Just sit still and wait for what happens.
Well, they didn't hit us.
They didn't try to hit us.
They dropped something just as the plane passed over us, though. I'm sure of that.
Yes. I thought I heard something hit the water.
Have no fear. If they were using bombs, it would be only the magnetic type.
Got any metal on this boat, Johnson?
Not unless you brought it along with you. I even ripped out a small capstan to head forward.
Well, then we can keep moving. But if there's one little piece of metal on this boat, we'll stay right here.
Johnson, your anchor.
We have no anchor, Mrs. Gregory.
You are very thorough, Mr. Johnson.
It pays to be thorough in this sort of business.
Well, we seem to be going smoothly along, and nothing's happening.
Yep. But those fellows from the Magic Island fool you. Just when you think you've seen the whole show, they dig out one more trick.
Well, they must have dug one out then. Here they come back to try it on us.
Sorry we haven't any protection on this little boat.
Don't worry about that, Johnson. A battleship doesn't carry enough protection to save it from a Euclidean plane if they're attacking in earnest.
I would suggest we all sit perfectly still, make no move as the plane goes over, and concentrate on trying to discover their purpose in these repeated dives.
That's right, Joan. Now everybody sit still with your eyes wide open.
It's raining.
Sure, feels like it.
The cooling system in that plane must be leaking. I felt a fine, heavy spray, slightly warm as they passed over us.
Well, I'd say that wasn't accidental. They managed to cover us pretty thoroughly with it. And my clothing feels wet all over.
Yeah, my sleeves are... Say, well, that's funny.
What, Jerry?
My sleeves were wet, soaking wet, and now they're dry.
Why, you're right, Jerry.
They have used a chemical of some kind with which to spray this boat.
Well, what for, Joan?
The reason is not apparent to me as yet.
It can't be anything very destructive. It didn't burn where it touched the skin.
And it doesn't seem to be affecting the fabric of our clothing.
If we could only smell the blame stuff, we might get an idea.
Euclideans are far too clever to allow an odor to identify any of their preparations.
Well, whatever this stuff is, I'll bet we find out a lot about it mighty quick. Look, that plane's coming back.
What can they do to us?
Anything they take a notion to, I guess.
I believe I understand the purpose of this liquid spray now.
Well, what is it, Joan?
I will not tell you.
Oh, but Joan...
No, Mother. If the effect will be as I think, you might do something foolish in attempting to escape from it when our greatest safety lies in doing nothing.
Well, I hope you know best, Joan. Here he comes.
Whatever you thought it was, Joan, you're wrong. He didn't do a blame thing to us.
Have you tried to move your hands?
Move our hands? Why, say, what is this?
Magnetism again.
Heck, I'm absolutely powerless. I can't move at all.
They sprayed us with that magnetic paint of theirs.
Precisely.
And this last time he dropped magnetic bombs all around us.
We had plenty of this sort of treatment on that island.
Well, tell me, how lasting is the effect?
That will depend on how many bombs were dropped in the water near us and what materials the bomb casings are made of. You will observe that the boat is no longer making any progress.
Oh, you're right, Joan. We're standing still, except for a little drift with the tide.
And we'll stand here until the solution from those bombs becomes so diluted in the water that it won't hold us?
Correct, Captain.
Well, that won't take long, will it, Joan?
I believe the pilot of that plane may have arranged that it will take several hours.
Several hours? Why, Joan, dear, that magnetic solution can't possibly stand up in water that long.
You would be right, Mother, if the solution was all formed at once. But I imagine some of those bombs were made to float and dissolve at certain intervals, continually generating fresh magnetism on their contact with the salt water.
Then If that's the case, we may be here all night.
At least we may be here long enough for the submarine we left magnetized to free itself and come up after us.
Well, you mean to tell me that all we can do is just sit around here like a bunch of statues and let this boat drift around with us?
That is all.
Well, now I'm beginning to understand something of what you've all been through on that island.
Oh, we sure had plenty of weird things happen to us.
Look, that plane seems to be on his way now.
Yes. I can't hear it anymore. He must be going back to Euclidia. I think that is correct.
But how do they refuel those things?
They don't much. We've learned a lot of things, Johnson. One of them is that we don't know anything about fuel or how to use it.
We'll get our hands on all those formulas when we go back to the Magic Island.
I'm not at all sure I want to go back, Jerry. Sometimes I feel that Euclidia is a very fascinating place, and at other times I hate it. Just now, I'm not very kindly disposed toward G-47 and his men.
Oh, yes, his men. How about this fellow Thales? What did you finally do to get rid of him, Johnson?
I've never seen him.
Never seen him?
No, Mrs. Gregory.
Then you were right, Tex. That radio was wrecked by remote control.
Johnson, did you find your set burned up or melted down?
Both. Some highly caustic chemical was suspended near every vital part of the set. When I used it to warn you, it simply flowed over everything and put the set out of business.
But you mean to say, Johnson, you have no idea where Thales is or what he looks like?
No, not the slightest.
I have seen him on Euclidia. I would recognize him if I saw him again, I believe.
I hope you get a chance to point him out to me.
Oh, Tex, look.
What, Pat?
Well, that boat. See that big shadow off the port bow?
Gee, it's a great big oil tanker.
And he's bearing right down on us.
We are helpless.
None of us can make a move. They'll never turn that big boat in time.
Can't blame them. We haven't any lights, and I painted the sails black so we wouldn't be seen.
Tex, he's going to run us down.
We'll sure get it in a minute.
And we can't swim with this magnetic plate on us.
Worse than that, we will sink immediately. He's almost on top of us.
Exploring Tomorrow. And now, here is your guide to these adventures of the mind, John Campbell.
When men start a new project, it starts with a plan. The plan has to be carried out, worked through, the details arranged for. You don't have any trouble until the thing you did not expect turns up. So far, human research has achieved an unmanned satellite in space. The sole purpose of any of these devices, any machine, is to serve human beings. The machine goes first to try things out, but the sole purpose of doing it is so that men can follow. And women, too. But there are problems of purely human nature that sometimes complicate the most scientific of plans.
Champagne. Oh, there you are, my dearest. My darling, my love, champagne.
Oh, good heavens, Jeff. You'd think we were getting married all over again.
Oh, why not? Let's make this our second wedding day. A celebration to end all celebrations. Besides, it is almost our first anniversary. Happy almost first anniversary, Lieutenant Alice.
Oh, no. No, if this is going to be a late wedding feast, you must call me Mrs. Captain Jeffrey Britton. I demand my rights as a legally wedded wife, even if you do outrank me.
Don't giggle. It's not proper for an officer in the United States Space Service to giggle. And for goodness sake, don't tell me the champagne bubbles tickle your nose.
Oh, they don't. I love the stuff. Pour me another.
Another, my dear Mrs. Britton. That was the finest half-pint of domestic champagne available, which is all a mere captain can afford. There is no more.
For shame. The finest rocket pilot in the United States, and you can't even afford another bottle?
No, not even for a going-away party.
Oh, Jeff. It is a going-away party, isn't it? I won't see you for 6 months.
Now, come on, sweetheart. Don't cloud up and rain. It's good duty, and you'll be back soon. 6 months isn't forever, you know.
Oh, I know. But being stuck up on an artificial satellite for 6 months without you isn't my idea of fun.
Oh, look, sweetheart, you'll like it up there. It's the oldest and biggest of our manned space stations. It has plenty of room inside and a crew of 400 officers and men. It even rotates on its axis to give you artificial gravity. At least you don't have to worry about space sickness.
Oh, Jeff, don't be so serious. It's not the fact that I have to be up there that bothers me. It's just that I'm going to miss you.
Ah, I thank you so much for that. I'll miss you, too. But there's nothing we can do about it.
How right you are. The Space Service has no use whatsoever for personal feelings. Except, of course, that they hope you don't get killed. Do you know what?
I give up what?
I was shown an instruction film. Told all about Space Station 1. You know how safe it is. Did you know that every compartment has individual heating and oxygen supply in case of emergency? And did you know that all the walls are filled with a plastic self-sealing compound like a car tire, so that if a small meteor hits it, it won't lose too much air?
Well, sure, it's safe. 1,000 miles straight up over Earth, and you're as safe as in your bed at home.
Hooray for safety! And now, my dear cheapskate husband, will you do me the favor of buying me another bit of champagne? I will have to buy it myself.
Oh, darling, this is our last night together for 6 months. So I suppose I'll have to buy more champagne. Hey, waiter!
Nurse Jenkins, send in Lieutenant Britton.
She'll be right in, Doctor.
You wanted to see me, Major James?
I certainly do. Being medical officer of Space Station 1 isn't an easy job under any circumstances. But you have made it 10 times as difficult.
I didn't mean to cause you any trouble, sir.
Well, you certainly have. I just got the laboratory report. The test was positive.
It was? Oh, that's wonderful.
Wonderful? What do you mean, wonderful?
Well,
My dear Lieutenant Britton, has it escaped your fluttery female mind that you were in Space Station 1 in an orbit more than 1,000 miles from the surface of Earth? Have you forgotten that?
No, sir.
Well, if I had Captain Britton up here, I'd personally break his neck, but he's not. He's safe down on Earth while you're the one who's going to have the baby.
Major James, neither my husband nor I intended this to happen.
Of course not, but it did, nevertheless. Oh. I suppose it's not your fault, Lieutenant, but it leaves me in an awkward position. What are we going to do? This is a space satellite, not an obstetrics ward. I have neither the drugs nor the equipment to take care of you.
Of course not. You'll have to send me back down to Earth when the next rocket leaves.
What? You've been up here 2 months now, and your baby is due in another 7 months. Do you think I would risk sending you down to Earth in a rocket at 9 gravities of acceleration? Not at this stage of the game, Lieutenant.
How can I stay here?
There's nothing else you can do. I'll have to contact the hospital at White Sands Rocket Base and have them send up the equipment I need on the regular supply rockets. Whether we like it or not, you'll be staying with us for a while. And we're going to have to take very good care of you.
Exploring Tomorrow continues in just a moment.
This is Bill Goodwin. You know, someone once said humor is the true democracy. And that's why we Americans can smile when we tell the stories of the legendary heroes who helped to build our country's great institutions and industries. Like Bowleg Bill, hero of the tuna fishing industry. Back in Provincetown, Massachusetts, they claimed that when it came to hauling in the horse mackerel, as the Easterners call tuna, Bill could handle 2 gaffs at once and catch more than any 6 men put together. And they're still talking about the time Bill caught old Slick Britches, the biggest horse mackerel of them all. No one could ever get his hooks into Slick Britches, who weighed 2,000 pounds and had a tail 6 feet long. But Bowleg Bill promised to land him single-handed. He set out in his boat, taut up, and when he spotted Slick Britches, he made a grab for him, but the tuna slipped through his hands. So Bill dove over the side, and before folks knew what had happened, Bill was sitting astride old Slick Britches, who was bucking like a bronco. He leaped almost a mile out of the water, but Bill hung on. All over the harbor they went, jumping and leaping, but still Bill hung on. Fight leap over the toss-up, and then calmed down, all the fight gone out of him. Bill steered him toward shore, but all of a sudden he headed him back out to sea, slapped the tuna's tail, and jumped off. Now, folks were mighty disappointed when Slick Britches disappeared, but it was like Bill told them. There's nothing that'll break a cowhand's heart so quick as to find a critter with the rough all rode off at the first mount. Yes, sir, it is a democracy which lets us tell the stories of such a legendary character as Bowleg Bill with a twinkle in our eyes and a chuckle in our throats. And so long as we continue to laugh together as a people, ladies and gentlemen, we will live together as a nation.
Alice had called attention to the fact that the space station had not been adequately designed. It had been designed all right to take care of men and of women, but taking care of human individuals is not enough if we are to really enter the space stage. We have to take care of the human race. That's something Alice was bringing to attention.
Here's some more of the laboratory reports on Lieutenant Alice Britton, Doctor.
Oh, yes, from her last checkup. How is she doing this?
Seems to be doing quite well, Doctor. The light gravity is helping, I think.
Oh, only 59 days to go. Less than 2 months, if our figuring is correct. I have nearly all the equipment I need now, and by the time she's ready, it'll all be here.
I've been checking it off the list as the supply rockets unload each piece. You don't have far to go.
You know, Nurse, 5 months ago when I found out that Lieutenant Britton was going to have a baby, I was really worried. But now it looks as though there's going to be nothing to it. One of the doctors from White Sands Rocket Base is coming up next month to help, and everything ought to go pretty smoothly. But I was sure worried for a while.
Why were you worried, Doctor?
After all, women aren't supposed to go around having babies in space stations.
Well, it looks as though Lieutenant Britton's going to set a precedent.
Good heavens, I hope not. If all the women in the Space Service get that idea, we'll be running a nursery up here, not a fueling station.
Well, you'll just have to.
Emergency signal. There's been an accident.
Phone, Doctor.
Yeah, I'll get it. Sick ward, Major James speaking. What? Have you got her out of there? Well, then put her on a stretcher and get her to Ward 3. I'll be right down.
What happened, Doctor?
A small meteorite hit Section 6, and Lieutenant Britton was in there when it happened. They're bringing her up now, but there's no way of knowing how badly she's hurt. Be careful. Easy now.
Oh.
Now put the stretcher down on the bed.
Oh.
Easy. That's it, yeah. Now just take it easy, Lieutenant. All right, men. She'll be all right now. Thanks. Close the door, please.
Oh. I hurt all over.
You'll be okay. Nurse Jenkins will bring down a hypo in a few minutes. You'll be all right.
I think I'll live, Major. But my ears are still ringing.
Well, you must have lost air. Can you tell me what happened?
I was in Section 6 checking some meters. All of a sudden, bam! A little meteor punctured the outer wall. Just a little bit of rock the size of a marble. But it was moving fast enough to put a hole in the wall.
It sure was. Then what?
And I wasn't hit. The air started going out into the vacuum of space. The wall is self-sealing, but a lot of air left the room before the hole closed. The automatic door closed. My ears were ringing. Everything got fuzzy. I guess I fainted.
You're lucky the meteor was small and moving fairly slowly. Sealing compound in the wall closed the hole before you lost too much air, really. Your nose isn't bleeding. You haven't got the bends, at least.
No, but I'm afraid the baby's going to be here sooner than we expected.
Yes, it looks like it. Don't worry. 7-month babies are just as good as 9-month ones. And you're a pretty healthy girl. You'll be all right. And so will the baby.
I know we will. Take care of us, will you, Major?
Sure. Don't worry. That's what I'm here for. Remember? How is she, Nurse?
Gave her a hypo. She'll be able to relax a little. She's lucky to be alive.
It's not all luck. Everything worked automatically. That's what saved her.
Oh, she's all right now. You want me to prepare the room next to hers as a delivery room? We'll need it soon.
Well, that's what I was afraid of. But how soon, do you think?
Not more than an hour or two, I'd say. What's the matter, Doctor? You look worried.
Your premature baby has to have a specialized environment. An incubator. If it doesn't, its chances of survival are small, right?
Well, yes.
Well, we haven't got an incubator. The nearest one is more than 1,000 miles away. Straight down.
The plans that had been made, again, were not sufficient. You know, many times, a man who is working with machines and knows the machine in full, understands what it does and its functions, has never recognized what its basic nature is. He's too close to it. It's the forest and the trees again. And sometimes somebody who really doesn't know as much about the machine understands it better.
Major James speaking. Yes, Colonel. From where? Europe. Yes, sir. Yes, I understand, sir. Very well, Colonel. Thank you. Oh, brother, that does it.
What's the matter now, sir?
Our message to White Sands was intercepted. The newscasters have gotten hold of the story. The communications officer just picked up a broadcast from Europe. Big stuff. First baby born in space. Emergency measures being taken. The whole world knows about it now, and everybody on Earth is praying for Lieutenant Britton and her baby. Big sob story.
Oh, Doctor, you may not like all the publicity, and maybe it isn't a good thing in some ways. But personally, I'm kind of glad it happened.
Oh? But why?
Doctor, that girl may need all that praying.
Better get things ready, nurse.
How long do we have?
Half an hour at the outside. I had Nurse Bryson fix up the preliminaries. Any news?
The station commander called. He said that White Sands has assigned Captain Britton to pilot the rocket that's bringing up the incubator. She'll be glad to see him. She's supposed to have gone back to her some months ago.
Yeah, it'll probably do her good to see him.
How's she feeling now?
Oh, pretty fair. I think she'll be all right. She's got a lot of nerve, that one.
She'll need every bit of nerve if she loses that baby.
I know. You don't need to remind me. We need an incubator within half an hour, and there won't be one here for 2 hours. We haven't got it, and that's that. What can I do? I've tried everything.
Can't the construction crew build one?
Well, I thought of that first thing. I called the construction officer. He told me that there isn't any spare material up here to build one out of. It costs plenty to ship stuff up here by rocket, so they only order what they absolutely need.
Isn't there anything at all?
Well, not unless they cut holes in the space station. And that's what they're doing. They're ripping out one of the partitions. They'll use a heater from a wall and the oxygen apparatus from a spacesuit. They're trying to get it finished in time.
But they won't finish in time, is that it?
That's it. They'll get done about 15 minutes before the rocket gets here. There's just no time, that's all. Now, try to take it easy, Lieutenant. Don't rush things.
Well, I'm not rushing anything.
Well, now, don't worry about anything. You'll be all right.
I know. But I wish Jess was here.
Your husband is on his way, Lieutenant. He's taking a special rocket up from White Sands.
How long will it be? You'll have to hurry.
He'll be a little late, I'm afraid. We have the delivery room all ready. It won't be long now.
I know it won't. Did you get all the stuff you needed? How about the incubator? Well?
There isn't any incubator. I didn't take the possibility of a premature delivery into account. It's all my fault. But I've done what I could. Your husband is bringing an incubator up in the rocket. It won't be too long. I think we'll be able to keep the child in good health until he gets here. Lieutenant Britton. Alice, this is no time to get hysterical. Stop it.
I'm not hysterical, Doctor. You are. Look at you. You're so nervous. You can't even think straight.
What do you mean?
Well, figure it out for yourself. Take a look around you and ask yourself, why is a space station like an incubator?
Good heavens, of course. That's it. Can I come in?
Yes. You finally made it. Come over here.
Oh, hey, you look fine. How does it feel to be the most famous mother on earth? Huh? Or all of it?
Oh, I don't care about being famous. It's wonderful just to be a mother. And how do you feel, Daddy Britton?
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Say, I brought you an incubator, but Major James said you won't need it. I asked him why, and he said he felt too foolish about it to explain. He said I should ask you. What's the story?
Well, it was very funny. Poor man was running around in circles worrying about an incubator. He had you bring one up, and I understand he had the construction crews tearing down the walls to make one.
Really?
Really. And I finally asked him, why is a space station like an incubator? And he got it right away.
Got it? Got what?
Oh, don't you see, silly? A space station is a sort of an incubator. It protects us poor, weak humans from the airlessness and extremities of temperature in space. And each room of this station is a separate compartment. They can be self-sustaining if they have to.
So what did the Major do?
He just had one whole room isolated. You raised the temperature, pumped in extra oxygen, and bingo, he had an incubator.
Well, where is my son? I want to see him.
Your daughter, dear, and she's in the next room.
Huh?
Oh, but you can't go right in. You just wait. You've got a good many years ahead of you to get acquainted with her.
All right. I guess I just have to practice getting acquainted with you. Come here.
Mm-hmm.
There's the impression that science fiction has to do with machines. It's all about gadgets and ray guns. It isn't. That's why it's science fiction. It has to do with human beings and the problems that human beings will have with the machines we do and must live with. And if the machines aren't properly designed to recognize that their purpose is to serve humanity, they're no good either.
Heard in our cast tonight were Lawson Zerbe, Carol Teitel, and script was by Randell Garrett. Produced and directed by Sanford Martin in New York. Guy Wallace speaking. This is the world's largest network.
We pause now for station identification.
Presenting the transcription feature, Superman. Up in the sky. Look. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Superman, courageous visitor from another world, champion of the weak and the oppressed, who came to Earth when the planet Krypton was destroyed by giant quakes, and who now mingles with ordinary men disguised as Clark Kent, a mild-mannered reporter for the Daily Planet newspaper. When an explosion wrecked Hans Holbein's doll factory in the manufacturing town of Melville, neither Clark Kent nor Lois Lane, sent to cover the story, suspected there was anything sinister behind the unfortunate accident that took a toll of 13 lives. But mysterious things soon began to happen. An attempt was made to stop Kent and Lois on the road, but Superman took a hand. Arrived in Melville, Kent remained at the ruins of the doll factory, while Lois went to interview Hans Holbein, the owner. Learning from Lois that Kent was at the factory endeavoring to determine the cause of the explosion, Holbein immediately imprisoned her in his house and threatened her with death if Kent discovered anything in the factory ruins. Leaving Lois bound and gagged in a closet, Holbein hurried to the factory, where Kent, as Superman, has already burrowed deep down into the pile of bricks, searching for evidence.
Listen, Joe. Where are you, Joe?
I hear it, Holbein. What's up?
Keep that light out. Where's the reporter, Kent?
Reporter?
I ain't seen no reporter. Well, he's here snooping around. You didn't see him?
Say, wait a minute. I thought that guy was him.
Who are you talking about?
The guy came up the street about 10 minutes ago, and he looked like the same guy I stopped on the road, that reporter. But he said he was a necktie salesman.
No, you fool. It was Clark Kent. Where'd he go?
I told him to beat it, and he did.
You sure?
Positive. I seen him turn the corner.
What's that noise?
Noise? I don't hear no noise.
Keep that light out. Now, listen. You hear it?
Yeah. Now I hear it. Maybe it's rats.
Give me that flashlight. Follow me quietly.
You think it's that reporter, Mr. Holbein? I got my gun in case.
Quiet, you fool. Don't move. Now, do you think it's rats?
No. That ain't rats. It must be him. Kent, on the other side of that pile of bricks. I'll fix him, Mr. Holbein. One slug from this 38.
No. There are other ways, better ways to use a gun. Is stupid. Back to the street quickly. Here, the shadows. Now, listen to me. We must work fast.
I'm listening.
That wall, the one that's still standing, it has a crack in it, hasn't it?
Yeah, big crack. The fire inspector said it'll have to be torn down in the morning before it topples over.
It'll topple over tonight. An accident.
What? I don't get you.
The wind could make it fall. And would it be our responsibility if that reporter, Kent, was underneath it when it fell?
But the wind ain't strong enough to topple it.
Then we'll help the wind with a small amount of dynamite. Have a stick placed in the crack. That'll make the wall topple, no?
Sure. We can muffle it so nobody will hear the charge go.
You're a smart boy, Joe. Sometimes. Now, there's one more thing. That girl, Miss Lane. She could be snooping around the factory, too, when the wall topples.
Sure she could.
All right. Take my car and go for her. She's locked in the hall closet, tied up. Here are the keys. Now, hurry. But don't let anyone see you. I'll wait on the corner.
Okay. I'll be back before you know it.
Oh, this is dusty work. I'm near the basement now. It would have been much easier to plow right through these bricks, but I had to be careful that watchman or whatever he is didn't hear me. Now to get these beams out of the way. There. That does it. All clear. What's this? Oh, the boiler, eh? The one that was supposed to have blown up. Didn't blow up at all. Evidently something else was responsible for that explosion. Something Holbein would like to keep undercover. Well, it won't be undercover very long, not if I have anything to do with it. Here, this looks like something. Broken packing case. Well, I'll rip some of these boards off. Case of dolls. Most of them are crushed. This is a pretty one. Blonde hair and a blue dress. Too bad the body's cracked, or I'd save it for Hold on. Something queer about this doll. What's that inside the body? That's a metal cylinder. Wait a minute. They all have metal cylinders. Now I'm beginning to understand a few things, and I think this is a job for the police. I'll just take some of these unusual dolls and discuss the matter with the chief of police as Clark Kent, reporter. Holbein, things don't look so good for you. Up, and away! Red cape streaming in the night wind, Superman wings through the darkness, convinced he has stumbled on an important clue to the mysterious explosion in the doll factory. 5 minutes later, as Clark Kent, Daily Planet reporter, he is talking with the local chief of police in the latter's office.
As I said, Mr. Kent, there's not much we know about Holbein, except that he rented the factory a year ago, set up machinery, and began making dolls. Harmless enough business, if you ask me.
Harmless enough on the surface.
What do you mean by that?
Here, Chief. Look at these dolls.
Yeah?
Let me open one. There. See what's in it?
Yes. Powder. Grayish-black powder. Looks like pepper.
But I can assure you it isn't. Here, we'll just pour a few grains into this ashtray.
Kent, it may be dangerous.
Don't worry, Chief. Now we'll touch the flame to the few grains of black powder in the ashtray.
Kent, be careful. Kent, are you all right?
All right. Chief, there's enough of this powder in each of these metal cylinders to blow a battleship apart.
What?
It's the most powerful explosive I've ever seen. And Holbein was packing it inside dolls.
But why, Kent? Why?
That's what we have to find out immediately. At least we know what caused the factory explosion. Someone must have set this stuff off accidentally.
I'll have Holbein picked up and brought down here. He's got plenty to explain.
No, wait. That's not the way, Chief. We mustn't let him think we know as much as we do. It would be better if you and I had a little private talk with him.
Yes, maybe you're right. Chances are we'll find him at his house. You know, Kent, never in all my life would I have suspected anything like this.
Clark Kent's plan is a good one. But unknown to him, Hans Holbein has already set his devilish scheme of destruction into action. At this very moment, he is huddled in the shadow of the factory wall that is still standing, while Joe, his helper, widens the crack in the wall with a mallet and spike.
Say the girl, Miss Lane, fainted, Joe?
Yeah. She was out cold when I opened the closet. Made it easy to handle.
You took off the ropes and the gag before you put her inside under this wall, didn't you?
Sure.
Good. It must look like an accident.
Is that reporter still in there snooping around?
He must be. He didn't come out on the street.
Yeah, now. She's ready for the dynamite. I wrapped the stick in cotton batting and muffle it. Here she goes.
Put a long fuse on it, Joe.
5 minutes. Time enough for us to get back to the house.
Good.
I better light the fuse. What time is it?
5 minutes to 10.
That means she'll blow at 10 sharp. Here she goes. Joe, a car coming up the street. Quick, this way.
Well, if Holbein isn't here at the factory, Chief, we can question his watchman. He's the same fellow who tried to keep Miss Lane and myself from entering Melville.
I can't understand Holbein's not being home, Ken. Particularly since you say Miss Lane went up to interview him.
Oh, that's what worries me. Our car was parked in front of Holbein's house, but the place was empty. We searched every room after we climbed in that open window.
Well, don't worry. Let's look around here. Hello? Anybody here?
No answer. Let me have your flashlight. I know the way over these bricks.
Where's that watchman you were talking about?
I don't know. He seems to have vanished. I don't like this.
What do you mean?
Well, Holbein gone, Miss Lane gone, and the watchman gone.
We'll find them all.
Chief, wait a minute.
What is it?
You hear something? A faint sputtering?
No. No, I don't. Where's it coming from?
Over there.
Well, that's a blank wall. The only one left standing. Fire department condemned it. They're going to tear it down in the morning. You still hear that sputtering?
Yes, faintly. You didn't leave your car running, did you?
I can't remember. Chances are I did. Say, you've got good hearing if you can catch that motor idling. It's pretty quiet.
No, it's not a motor. It's a sputtering, a hissing. I'm going over to investigate. What's that?
Town hall clock.
What time is it?
Must be 10 o'clock.
Chief, what's that over there?
Looks like a woman's shoe.
It is a woman's shoe. One of Lois Lane's shoes. Chief, Lois is somewhere around here. Maybe behind that wall. She's in danger.
10 o'clock, and the fuse is burned down to its last fraction of an inch. Only a few seconds left for Superman to snatch Lois from disaster. What happens in these fleeting moments? Tune in next time and follow the thrilling story of Superman.
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman! Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine. Presenting the transcription feature, Superman!
Up in the sky, look! It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman! And now, Superman, strange visitor from another world who has come to Earth as champion of the weak and the oppressed. Superman, who can bend steel in his bare hands and race a speeding bullet to its target, and who mingles with ordinary men disguised as Clark Kent, meek-mannered reporter for the Daily Planet newspaper. As you remember, Clark Kent and Lois Lane, a girl reporter for the Daily Planet, were sent to Melville, an upstate manufacturing town, to investigate a mysterious explosion in a doll factory. Hans Holbein, owner of the factory, claimed the explosion was due to a boiler that blew up. But Kent, as Superman, found otherwise. Digging in the bricks, Superman discovered a case of dolls. But they were not ordinary dolls. The body of each doll contained a metal cylinder filled with a dangerous super explosive, enough to blow up a battleship. Taking his evidence to the police, Kent enlisted the aid of the chief. In the meantime, Lois Lane, who had sought an interview with Holbein at his home, is in the clutches of the doll factory owner and his helper, Joe. Unconscious from fright and apprehension, Lois was carried into the dark ruins of the factory and placed beneath a dynamite-loaded wall that is timed to collapse at 10 o'clock. Unable to locate either Holbein or Lois at the doll manufacturer's house, Kent and the police chief rushed down to the factory to find them there as the town clock tolls the ominous hour of 10. Listen.
Chief, this shoe I just picked up, it belongs to Lois Lane. She's here somewhere.
But where, Kent? Where?
I don't know. Maybe behind that wall. I'm going to look. You stay here, Chief.
All right.
Keep that light out. I'll call if I need you. That sputtering I heard before must be a fuse. But where? Something's going to happen. When it does, I must be prepared. It's Superman.
So I'll make the change now, just in case. Now for a look around. What's that near the wall? Great Scott, it's Lois. Lois Lane stretched out on a pile of bricks. The wall is toppling over. Chief, go back. Run, the wall's coming down. Gotta get Lois before that wall crushes her. Falling. Not a second to spare. Quickly.
Is she all right?
Yes, Chief. That wall missed us by an inch.
I don't understand it. I thought you were both caught under it. It's a miracle. Nothing but a miracle.
Guess we were lucky at that. You see, I was right. I did hear sputtering. The sputtering of a fuse. Someone put dynamite in that wall to make it collapse.
Not just someone, Kent. It was Holbein and whoever's working with him. I'll see that he goes up for attempted murder if it's the last thing I do.
Help.
She's coming, too.
Oh, help.
Oh, now, everything's all right, Miss Lane. Just take it easy.
Oh, Clark. Mr. Kent. What happened?
Yeah, that's what we'd like to know.
How did you get here, Miss Lane?
I don't remember. I was interviewing that man, Holbein. I told him Mr. Kent was at the factory looking around. He got very angry. Wouldn't let me leave. I fought with him.
Yes, what happened?
He tied me up and put a gag in my mouth. And I guess I fainted.
I get it now. They brought her down here.
Never mind about that now, Chief. The important thing is to locate Holbein. I'd better take you to a hotel, Miss Lane.
Oh, no, you won't, Clark Kent. This is my assignment as much as it is yours. What's this about dynamite?
Well, it's a long story, and you must be tired. I'll tell you some other time.
No, so you'll tell me right now. Why did Holbein flare up when I told him you were looking around the factory, huh?
Because he was hiding something. That factory explosion wasn't caused by a boiler blowing up.
Not by a long shot. It was those dolls.
Dolls? What do you mean?
The dolls Holbein made were only a blind. Each one of them was loaded with a grayish-black powder. A deadly, high-powered explosive.
Enough to blow this whole town sky high.
Yes, but why? What was his object?
That's what we don't know, and won't know until we get our hands on Holbein. And the sooner we do that, the better. I think we'll go back to his house, Chief. Maybe he's there now.
Oh, hold on, Kent. There's something I forgot to tell you.
Oh?
Clean slipped my mind in the excitement.
Oh, what is it?
Holbein owns a plane. A two-seater monoplane. Keeps it at the Sudbury Airport.
What?
I'll wager he's heading there right now, figuring on skipping.
Why didn't you tell me? Here, we've been wasting all this time. Where is the airport?
Sudbury. It's 5 miles west of Melville on the turnpike. We can drive there in 10 minutes.
I can get there faster alone. See you later.
But now, doesn't that beat all? How on earth does he expect to get there faster than a car will take him?
Oh, it isn't to get there faster, Chief. Just first, to hog all the glory. Where's your car?
It's just down the street.
Well, come on, we're racing to the airport.
No sense all of us going to one place. Maybe it would be better if we took a run up to Holbein's house from the chance he's there. Sort of cover all possibilities.
Why, he won't be there. He'll be at the airport, and Ken will catch him. He's just that lucky.
Can't tell that Holbein's slick enough to think he can talk himself out of this without running away. Come on, Miss Lane. Won't be anything more.
Oh, all right, but I'll bet my last dollar Clark Kent comes in with Holbein in a story.
Both Lois Lane and the chief of police are in for a none too pleasant surprise. For even as their car speeds through the darkness, Hans Holbein nervously paces the living room floor of his house, while Joe, his helper, stands at a window with drawn blinds. Listen.
Well, all clear, Mr. Holbein. Stop worrying. Not a chance of this being pinned on us.
Yes, that's what you think. But that car, the one that drove up to the factory while we were fixing the dynamite in the wall. Well, what about it? It was a police car. I saw it.
Well, listen, you can talk those cops out of anything. Take it easy, Mr. Holbein. Just take it easy.
What time is it?
At best 10.
7 hours. That's a long time.
What's going to happen in 7 hours?
It'll be dawn. We go to the airport, take the plane, fly to the island. There we'll be safe until this blows over.
What about the rest of the dolls buried under the bricks?
Aye.
Going to leave them there with all that stuff in them?
Well, it can't be helped.
But if the wall toppled over on them two reporters, the fellow and the girl, they can't do any talking.
Well, I'm not sure what happens. I can't take any chances. There's too much at stake. Look out the window again, Joe.
Yeah. Still clear.
No, wait a minute. There's a car coming up the street. Who is it, Joe? Who is it?
How can I tell from here? She's slowing up, stopping at the curb.
It's a police car. No, it can't be. That's what it is. Two people getting out. Looks like the chief and Holbein. It's that girl reporter. You see, the wall didn't fall. She got away. Shh. Coming up the walk. Stand back. This 38 will finish him fast.
No, Joe. Not with a gun. Here, let me talk to him first.
Here, you hide the closet, quick.
Open up, Holbein. One moment, please.
Come on, open up.
All right. No funny work now, Holbein. I've got you covered. Up with your hands. I don't understand. You will soon enough. Close the door, Miss Lane. Now, what have you got to say for yourself, Holbein? I'm sorry, but you'll have to explain. Explain what? The dolls with the black powder inside them?
Yes, and tying me up and throwing me into a closet?
Holbein, we've got to get to rights. I'm arresting you for manslaughter because 13 people lost their lives when your factory exploded. And if that isn't enough, I'll hold you for the attempted murder of Miss Lane.
That's what you think, copper.
Joe, don't shoot.
All right, then he gets it this way. Oh, it's your turn, sister.
Joe, stop.
What do you want her to do, blab her mouth off?
Put down that gun, Joe.
All right, it's your funeral.
The chief, he's hurt.
Stay right where you are, Miss Lane. You caused me enough trouble, you and your friend. Now I'll see to it that you remain harmless for a long time.
You can't get away with this.
And on the
you can't get away with this. No, let me go.
Watch, you'll scratch your eyes out.
Let me go. I tell you, let me go.
Chair.
No.
Now, keep quiet. Now, Joe, pack up the bags quickly.
Where are we going?
To the island. We can't wait for dawn.
You're not taking me to any island.
Shut up, sister. We'll take care of you later.
I'll handle it, Joe. I know what I'm doing. Now, pack up the bags and make it fast.
You can't get away with this. You can't get away with this. Let me go. Let me go.
Meanwhile, at the Sudbury airport, Superman finds Holbein's plane still in its hangar and no sign of the doll factory owner. He wings swiftly back to Melville, red cloak streaming in the wind, his powerful figure shrouded in protective darkness.
The chief must have thought I was crazy to run out on him the way I did. Lois must certainly think I'm trying to hog the story. Well, there are times when what people think is unimportant. I wonder where Holbein did go. He wasn't at the airport, that much I know. I searched the place high and low. Look, there are the lights of Melville up ahead. There's the main road. I can see a car running along it. I'll drop down and have another look at the factory. Maybe he's there. Down. No, nobody there. Might as well try the house again. Probably find Lois and the chief there. Faster! Here we are. Right in Holbein's front yard. I'd better change back to Clark Kent before going in.
There, that does it. Now, up the steps. No answer. That's funny. I'll try again. Well, if you won't open for Clark Kent...
You'll open for Superman. Here goes. Once more. There, that does it. What the chief on the floor. Chief, what happened?
Holbein. Man came out of the closet.
Yes?
Slugged me.
Chief, what happened to Lois? Miss Lane?
Don't know.
Lois! Miss Lane, where are you? She's gone. Holbein's gone. Oh, why did I ever leave her? Now there's no telling where she is. Wait, hold on. There's something written on the table. Written with a lipstick. Am on island. It's a message she left for me. Am on island. Yes, but what island?
What island is Lois Lane on? Is it the same island to which Holbein and Joe fled? Some bleak, desolate stretch of sand far out in the ocean? What can Superman do in the face of this new development? This new danger? Tune in next time and follow the thrilling story of Superman.
Up in the sky. Look!
It's a bird!
It's a plane! It's Superman!
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Action Comics magazine.
Pep, the build-up wheat cereal, invites you to rocket into the future with Corbett.
Stand by to raise ship. Blast off. -5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
As roaring rockets blast off to distant planets and far-flung stars, we take you to the age of the conquest of space with Corbett. Space Cadet. High over the dense jungles of the Amazon, a Solar Guard jet ship blasts through the stratosphere. Aboard the speeding craft, Cadets Tom, Corbett, and Roger Manning, accompanied by Sally Wood, are on their way to Amazon City to try to clear themselves of charges that have made them fugitives from the Solar Guard.
Hey, Tom, something's coming in on the radio. I'll bet it's Captain Strong. He must have received our message, Roger.
It sounds like nothing but static to me.
Well, it's coded, Sally. Our Solar Guard code. Here, I'll set the scrambler. Come on, Roger, clean it up. We're getting close to Amazon City. Yep. There. I've got the right setting now.
Captain Strong to Cadet Corbett. Captain Strong to Cadet Corbett. Come in. Come in.
Tom Corbett here. Go ahead, sir.
Where in the universe are you?
Near Amazon City, sir. Did you get the message I piped to you?
Yes, and I was certainly relieved to hear from you. There's a dead or alive warrant out for your arrest.
We know it, but I explained what happened. You believe us, don't you, sir?
I do, Tom, but the orders for your arrest can't be officially canceled until there's been a hearing. So, as far as the Solar Guard is concerned, you and Manning are still fugitives.
That's all right with us, sir. I think it will help us to get those plans from Anders.
Now, listen carefully, Tom. I can be in Amazon City by noon tomorrow. I'll come out of the Solar Guard headquarters building at exactly that time. You and Manning watch for me from across the boulevard.
Right, sir.
I'll get on the northbound slidewalk. You two follow me on the opposite side, and we'll meet at the first changeover junction. You got that?
Yes, sir. Tom, look at the radar screen. Great Jupiter. Those are Solar Guard interceptors. And they're after us.
Tom, what's going on?
Solar Guard ships. We've got to duck them. See you in Amazon City tomorrow, sir. End transmission.
Tom, can't we outrun them?
I'm wide open now, and they're gaining.
What will they do?
Blast us out of the sky if they can. They're firing now. That was close.
That one hit us.
Hold it steady, Tom. I can't. The controls don't answer. Look out. Pull up or we'll crash. I'm doing my best.
We're headed straight for the jungle.
Hang on, Sally. Watch it. Brace yourselves. We're going to hit. Oh, brother. I never thought we'd walk out of that one alive.
Oh, it was a beautiful landing, Tom.
Lucky we found that clearing. We just managed to shoehorn in. Look out. The Solar Guard jet. Hit the dirt.
Did they see us?
I don't know, but we can't stay here now. They'll drop a detail of parapolice down to investigate. Yeah, we'll have to start moving.
But where can we go?
I noticed the house from the air. It's over there beyond that next hill. Okay, any port in a storm. Let's hike. Say, look at that place. What a joint.
Why would anyone in his right mind build a mansion like that out here in the jungle?
Well, look, they have an air car. See it parked over there? Yeah. Maybe we can get a lift to Amazon City, Tom. I sure hope so. That way we can meet Captain Strong and figure out a way to locate Anders before he knows we're on his trail.
Tom, look! There's someone coming out of the house.
Well, maybe he'll help us out. Hello there.
Well, hello.
Offer to pay him for the lift, Tom. I've still got some of those credits left.
Was that your jet that crashed from the other side of the hill?
That's right, sir.
We're lucky we're still alive.
Indeed you are, Miss Wood.
What? How did you know my name?
Let me introduce myself. I'm Wayne Anders.
Anders?
That's right. And believe me, I'm most happy to offer you the hospitality of home. I insist that you stay with me for a long time.
return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Spaceman, if you want to start out tomorrow ready for action, you just hurry on down to the breakfast table first thing in the morning. When you get there, eat the breakfast cereal that tops with the Cadets at Space Academy. Open up a package of Kellogg's Pep and pour out a bowl full of good eating. Right at the first swell-tasting spoonful, you'll say, Jumping Jupiter. No wonder Astro, Tom, and Roger go for Kellogg's Pep. This is great. And you know, besides rating ace high for flavor, Kellogg's Pep gets you set for a real energy send-off in the morning. When you rocket off to school or out to play, Kellogg's Pep helps you to travel at full space speed. Pep gives you other important food values, too. Food values that help you build strong bones, strong teeth, strong muscle. Ask your mom to set you up with Kellogg's Pep every morning. Then you'll be starting the day just like Tom, Astro, and Roger. And whether you're heading out to Saturn's rings or down to the field for a ball game with your pals, remember, start your day the spaceman's way. With a build-up wheat cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
When Tom, Roger, and Sally Wood survive the crash of their jet in the Amazon jungle, they stumble upon a big house hidden deep in a steaming valley. But when they seek help there, they are confronted by Wayne Anders, the man they have been hunting down. Now, some hours later, in the basement of the mansion.
Of all the rotten breaks, we ran right into that space creep's hands.
I'm more worried about Sally, Roger. I wish Anders hadn't separated us from her.
Yeah, the poor kid must be scared to death.
We're in a real tight spot. Unless we can find a way out of this hole, we won't meet Captain Strong in Amazon City.
Oh, we might as well forget about that. Just look at this place. Bars on all the windows, and the only way out is that steel door that leads upstairs.
I'm not so sure about that.
Huh?
Roger, do you have any money?
Yeah, some of those credits left, but...
No, not paper money. I need change. Small change.
Oh, well, let's see. Yeah.
Well, let me have that dime.
Here.
Uh-huh. Thanks. Now, let's see.
Hey, what are you fooling around with that ventilator duct for?
This may be our way out. This is part of the air conditioning system. So this duct must lead to a vent upstairs somewhere. And it's big enough to crawl through.
Hey, maybe you got something.
Now, if I can only loosen these screws, we can pull the screen off.
Here, let me help you.
Well, I'm getting this one.
Well, I'll work on this side.
I figure we can lift this whole section out. Then crawl up the duct and force open a grate upstairs.
With our luck, we'll probably wind up right in Anders' lap.
It's a big house. He can't be everywhere. There. This side's loose.
Just a couple more turns over here. That does it.
Good. We've got it. Help me ease the screen off.
Okay. Now, with any kind of a break, we'll be out of here in no time.
Okay, Roger. There's no one in the hall. Crawl out, quick.
I'm sure glad to get out of that dustbin.
Hey, look. Over there on that table.
A portable shortwave set. Hey, our luck's changing.
We'll take it along. And as soon as we're clear of this place, we'll contact Captain Strong.
Wait a minute. What about Sally?
We'll try to find her right now. Come on. Through this archway. Come on. Hey, what in blazes? It's an alarm. We must have walked through the beam of an electric eye. Yeah, there it is in the archway.
Blast it. Now we'll have the whole house on our necks.
Come on, we've got to get out of here.
But where'll we go?
The jungle. It's our only chance. Step on it.
Hey, Tom, can't we hold up for a minute? I'm beat.
Okay, Roger. We'll take 5, but no more.
We must have shaken them. We've used every trick in the book.
I don't see how they can pick up our trail for hours now.
Say, don't you think we ought to raise Captain Strong on that shortwave set you took?
Good idea. Well, it works all right. So far, so good.
Well, get to work.
Calling Solar Guard headquarters in Amazon City. Calling Amazon City, Solar Guard headquarters. I'm trying to contact Captain Strong. Come in if you read me. Cadet Tom Corbett here.
Corbett, I have a message for you, Corbett. Come in.
Hey, that's Anders' voice.
Blast it.
Go ahead, answer him. Maybe he wants to make a deal.
I hear you, Anders. What do you want?
Your position is hopeless, Corbett. Unless you and Manning surrender at once, you'll never see Sally Wood alive.
Oh, he's bluffing. If anything happens to Sally, he'll never get the information he wants from her father.
I know, but he's in a corner now, and he's desperate.
Did you hear me, Corbett?
Yes, I hear you.
Hey, wait a minute. Hey, why'd you cut off?
We're a couple of blockheads. He's using my voice to get a fix on our position.
Jumping Jupiter, I never thought of that.
Hey, listen, what's that?
Hey, don't tell me he's caught up with us already.
Well, take it easy. It's not Anders. Look.
It's like the rings of Saturn. A monkey.
Yeah. He sees us. He's coming over this way.
Well, he won't find me here.
Oh, study your gyros. He's friendly. Just curious about us, that's all.
Well, I'm not curious about him.
Well, come here, fella. Now, don't be afraid. We won't hurt you.
Hey, what do you know? He's as tame as a kitten.
I told you. He just wants to make friends.
Hey, what in the universe?
He just wants to try on your hat.
Come on, give it back. Okay, we won't fight over it. Keep it.
He looks better in it than you do, Roger.
Hey, what's eating him now?
Roger, look. Over there, the way those bushes are moving.
It's Anders. He's caught up to us again. Let's blast! Okay, Tom. Slow down. I think we've lost him again.
Damn. I only saw Anders.
Well, he had his stooge with him. Juan. The one who locked us in the basement.
Oh. Here comes our old pal, the monkey. He certainly didn't lose us.
You know, Tom, I still can't figure out how Anders tracked us so fast.
Yeah, just what I've been wondering. Even if he got a fix on the set when I was talking to him, there just wasn't time.
Hey, wait a minute. Let's have another look at that set. Some of those babies have concealed tracer beam senders on them.
You're right, Roger. It's here. A UHF sender.
And we've been carrying it around with us the whole time.
All Anders had to do was monitor it and follow the beam, which means we haven't lost Anders. He may not be far behind us.
Well, go on, smash it.
No. Hold it a minute. I've got a better idea. If Anders wants to follow this set, we'll let him.
What do you mean, Tom?
Well, there's no time to explain now, Roger. Just watch me. Mr. Anders is going to have a long walk for himself.
Over this way, Juan. According to the monitor, we're closing in.
We have been close to them before, Senor Anders.
We'll get them this time. I think they're lost. They've been traveling in a circle for the last half hour.
Sir, look. The other side of the clearing. Something moved.
There they are. Shoot!
Oh, Senor, he's only a monkey.
With a shortwave set on its back.
They have tricked us. They have escaped.
Not yet, they haven't. They're either headed back for the house to get the girl or for Amazon City to contact Captain Strong.
But which?
Listen, Juan. I'm going back to the house and guard the girl. You go ahead to Amazon City. You can still beat them if you take the lower trail.
Si, senor.
Find those cadets before they reach Captain Strong. And shut them up for good.
Well, there's Solar Guard headquarters across the boulevard, Roger. But I don't see any sign of Captain Strong.
What time is it, Tom?
3 minutes after 12.
Blast it. Maybe we've missed him.
That's what I'm beginning to wonder. No, there he is now, coming down toward the slidewalk.
Come on, let's get on the northbound walk on this side. We're to meet him at the changeover point.
Right. The captain just stepped on the northbound walk on his side. Hop aboard, Roger.
Go ahead, I'm right behind you. Hey, Tom, don't look now, but we're being tailed.
What?
It's that Juan character that works for Anders. He just boarded this slidewalk.
Uh-oh. Anders must have sent him to keep us from meeting Captain Strong.
What can we do? The minute we're clear of this crowd, he'll probably blast us.
We've got one chance. Listen, when we reach the junction, get off the slidewalk and duck down behind the wall right next to the exit.
I get it. When he steps off the slidewalk after us, we nail him.
That's it. We each grab an arm, but try not to attract any attention.
Maybe we can hustle him into the monorail terminal before he knows what's happening.
We'll try it. Watch it, Roger. Here's the junction. Step off. Down behind this wall, quick.
Here he comes. Nail him.
Okay, Mr. In here. What?
Let go of my arms. Let go.
Move and keep your mouth shut.
You cannot do this to me.
You want to bet, senor?
Into the terminal, quick, Roger. Now, up against that wall, Buster, and hold still.
Let me go or I call for help.
Just try it. I'll push my fist clean down your gullet.
I hope Captain Strong saw where we went.
Yeah, I was counting on him taking it from here.
Here he comes, Roger, right on course as usual.
You cannot hold me here.
Cut your jets, mister. We're giving the orders now.
Tom! What's going on here?
This is one of Anders' men, sir. Sent to intercept us.
That is a lie. I am an innocent citizen. I demand my right.
Now, you'll get your rights in court. These cuffs ought to hold you.
Oh, no.
Now, you just stand there and keep quiet.
Si, senor.
Now then, what gives with you two? Where's Miss Wood?
She's still a prisoner in the Anders place, sir. We had to run for her.
Well, then we've got to get her out of there. I'll order a detachment of men.
No, sir, that won't work. If Anders finds out the Solar Guard is after him, he might kill Sally.
Let Tom and me go back there, sir.
We know the layout of his place now. We can take him by surprise and then wait for the Solar Guard to move in for the arrest.
That might be the best plan. All right, carry on. I'll take this man back to headquarters and then arrange for a detail to follow you. Oh, one thing more.
Yes, sir?
Stay clear of any Solar Guard units. You're still fugitives, and we can't broadcast a retraction without alerting Anders.
Don't worry, Captain. We'll be careful.
Yeah, extra careful.
We're almost there, Roger. As soon as we cross that gorge, we'll be in sight of Anders' place.
Then the real fun starts.
Great galaxy! Hit the dirt!
Oh, brother, those guys are close.
Better crawl over this way, Roger. There's a big log to our left.
Tom, we're surrounded. Anders must have been tipped off.
They're not Anders' men, Roger.
What?
They're Solar Guards. See them over there?
By the moons of Jupiter, you're right, Tom.
This is one for the books. We're trying to save Sally Wood, and we're going to be knocked off by our own men, the Solar Guard.
We'll return to the exciting adventures of Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, in just a moment. So stand by.
Say, spaceman, are you coming along with your collection of Space Cadet picture cutouts? You know, you can get as many as 4 different Space Academy favorites, full-length pictures of Astro, Roger, Tom Corbett, and Dr. Joan Dale. These picture cutouts are swell for making Space Cadet settings. Just imagine one of the exciting adventures the Space Cadets have been on. You draw a picture of it and put the cutouts right on the setting. You can even make a stage and have the picture cutouts reenact all your favorite Space Cadet adventures. If you haven't got Space Cadet picture cutouts yet, you want to start your collection right away. Ask your mom to get you a regular-size package of Kellogg's Pep. Look on the back of the package, and right there, you see your own Space Cadet cutout. It's a full-length picture made from an actual photograph. Each cutout shows you an official Space Academy uniform, too. Cut the picture out of the box, make a little stand for it, and you're all set for a Space Cadet adventure. At the same time, you'll be all set to dish out the best-tasting wheat flakes that ever got covered with milk and sugar. Pep gives you that tasty whole wheat and malt flavor that just tops everything. And remember, there's a Space Cadet picture cutout on the back of every regular-size package of Pep. So don't delay. Ask for the Build-Up Wheat Cereal, Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P. Pep.
Meeting Captain Strong in Amazon City and arranging for a rescue party, Tom and Roger proceed alone toward Anders' hideout in the jungle. Their plan is to free Sally Wood before Anders can carry out his threat to kill her. But the boys walk right into an ambush and are pinned down by the blazing guns of a Solar Guard patrol.
We're trapped, Tom. They've got us surrounded.
There's only one thing left to do, Roger. We'll have to surrender and try and convince the officer in charge that we're no longer fugitives.
But suppose we can't convince him.
It's either that or be blasted. Here, let me get my shirt off.
Careful, Tom. Keep low.
Now, I'll just put this shirt on the end of a stick and wave it over our heads.
Come on, hurry up.
Here goes.
Say, they stopped firing.
All right, you two. Stand up so we can see you. Now keep your hands on your head. Stand still.
Okay, we're not moving.
That's Corbett and Manning?
Yes, sir.
I'm Lieutenant Blake of the Solar Guard. You're under arrest.
You're making a mistake, Lieutenant. We've been cleared of all charges.
Knock it off, mister. I'm taking you in.
Sir, you've got to listen. We're trying to get to the Anders house beyond that gorge. A girl's life depends on it.
You two are going back to Amazon City with me. Guards, take these men to the plane.
Where is your plane, sir?
On the other side of the gorge, across that bridge.
Thank you. Come on, Roger.
What's wrong with you, Tom? We've got to get away.
We're going to. When we get in the middle of that bridge.
You mean jump into the water?
Yes.
Hey, that's a long drop.
All the better. When we hit the water, we'll stay under and swim for the bank. There's plenty of cover there.
You think we can reach the Anders house before they catch up with us?
It's worth a try, isn't it?
I suppose so. Okay, we're over the water. Ready?
Yeah. Let's go.
They're trying to escape. Cut them down.
Miss Wood, I'm afraid I have some very unpleasant news for you. Those friends of yours, the cadets, have reached Amazon City and have reported your capture.
Oh, I knew they'd do it. I knew they'd help me.
You're wrong. Now I have no choice but to kill you.
No, let go of me.
I'm sorry, Miss Wood, but under the circumstances...
Circumstances have changed, pal.
What?
Watch it, Tom. He's got a gun.
It won't help him.
Nice work, Tom. He's all racked up for the freezer.
Better grab his gun.
Sure thing.
Oh, Tom, Roger, I thought...
Easy does it, Sally. Everything's going to be okay now.
Yeah, the skipper's on his way out with a detachment of men. He'll mop up Anders' whole mob.
What about the plans? Are they still in the house?
Yes. In the safe upstairs. I know exactly where they are.
Good. Well, I guess we can relax until the skipper gets here.
Great idea. Come on, Sally. You sit over here with me. I've got a lot of things to tell you.
Oh, no. Not again.
Don't miss the next action-packed adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, on Tuesday, when the crew of the Polaris rockets beyond Pluto to meet danger in deep space. Tune in, same time, same station on Tuesday for the next thrilling interplanetary adventure with Tom Corbett, Space Cadet.
Brought to you by Kellogg's Pep, the build-up wheat cereal.
Tom Corbett, Space Cadet, starring Frankie Thomas, can also be seen on television and appears in the comic sections of many of America's leading newspapers. Look for it daily and in weekend editions. Featured in the cast are Jan Merlin, Edward Bryce, Ivor Francis, Grant Sullivan, and Rosemary Rice. Today's program was written by Gilbert Braun, directed by Drex Hines. Jackson Beck speaking.
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret. Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
And what a secret! In Kellogg's Raisin Bran, the tasty raisins are dipped in honeycomb. That means plumper, more tender raisins along with delicious golden crisp bran flakes. Both fruit and cereal all in one box. And no other raisin brand but Kellogg's gives you the tender goodness of raisins dipped in honeycomb. That's Kellogg's secret. So for your breakfast, make sure you get Kellogg's. Because
Kellogg's Raisin Bran has a secret.
This program came to you from...
Fed up with the everyday grind. Tired out from the summer heat. Want to get away from it all.
We offer you Escape. Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are trapped aboard an ill-fated ocean liner, captained by a dying man, while a mysterious stranger, haunting you, menacing you, seems intent on sending you to destruction.
escape to mid-ocean and to the strange passengers aboard a stranger ship, as James Gould Cousins tells it in his gripping story, SS San Pedro.
It was hot. The heat rolled up from the Hoboken waterfront and drifted in waves across the open bridge deck where I stood. The last few loads of passengers' luggage were being hoisted aboard. In 30 minutes, the whistle on the forward stack would sound off, and the cargo liner San Pedro, carrying 172 passengers and 200 in the crew, would nose away from the pier and start the long run south to Buenos Aires. Then she'd become the great living animal she was meant to be. No longer something built with paint and steel and tied to a pier. You get to feel that way after you've been a while at sea. You feel that your ship is a live thing and that you're part of it. The captain is the biggest part, of course, the brain of the ship, the mentality that keeps her from turning idiot and dashing herself to pieces in her madness. The officers are the nerve centers, and the crew, the hands and fingers. And the twin turbines far down in the hold are the great driving muscles of the legs. Silly, maybe, but you can feel it. And the passengers, well, to most of us officers, the passengers are the parasites of the ship.
My, but you look confident.
Huh?
I said I'm glad you look confident. But you don't have to look so serious.
I'm sorry, miss. The passengers are not allowed on the bridge.
I know that. I've been on ships before. And I've never been thrown off a bridge yet.
Well, I have no intention of throwing you off, but I must ask
My
you
name is Mary Lee.
How do you do?
Are you the captain?
No, I'm Bradell, the first officer.
Oh, the captain's right-hand man.
You might put it that way. Now, if you'll please...
Mary Lee is my first name.
Yeah, I assumed as much.
Oh, well, I'll just call you Bradell, then. Maybe you'll loosen up when we get farther south.
I doubt it.
At least you'll have to dance with me in the evenings. It's part of your duty.
Well, I'll be happy to, in the line of duty.
A regular machine, aren't you? I think this is going to be fun.
Well, in the meantime, please be kind enough
Bradell.
to... Yes, Mr. Driscoll, what is it?
Captain's compliments, sir. I'd like to see you in his cabin right away.
Good. Take charge of the bridge, Mr. Driscoll.
Right, sir.
Most of the luggage is already aboard. Packy's on the winch. She's pretty drunk, but Myro seems to be able to handle him.
All right, Mr. Bradell. I'll watch him.
And please make sure the young lady finds her way back to the passenger deck.
Don't worry, Bradell. I know how to get any place I want to get.
You know, deck officers get all the breaks. Who's your little friend, Bradell?
Passenger, a cockeyed nuisance. You can have her, Sparks.
Good. Maybe I can teach her the code.
I doubt it.
Hey, wait till you get a load of the captain's visitors. Brace yourself, boy.
Time.
I understand you sent for me, Captain?
Oh, Mr. Bradell. Yes, I did, my boy. Everything in order on deck?
Yes, sir. We'll sail in about 20 minutes.
Good, Mr. Bradell. Oh, I'd like to present a friend of mine, Dr. Percival.
How do you do, Mr. Bradell? I don't wonder at your surprise. My appearance is somewhat strange.
I'm, sorry, sir.
No. I'm quite used to such a reaction. I am well aware that I closely resemble a corpse.
Mr. Bradell, I wonder if you'd mind showing Dr. Percival around the ship.
Captain Clendenning, we sail in 20 minutes.
A very brief tour will show me all I wish to see, Mr. Bradell.
Well, maybe after we get underway, I could show
No, Dr. Percival isn't sailing with us, Mr. Bradell. It shouldn't take more than a few minutes. I'd show him around myself, but I'm not feeling too well. A man wears out, I guess. Starts to break down. like a machine.
Like a machine. That's what she said.
What's that, Mr. Bradell?
Nothing, sir. Well, shall we get started, Dr. Percival? I showed him through the empty dining salon, along the boat deck and the promenade. We opened the bulkhead door and looked down through the gratings into the engine room. And everywhere we walked, people drew back and stared silently until we passed, and then whispered together behind us. We met Marilee, and she started to speak, and then her face turned white, and she passed us without a word. Dr. Percival paid no attention to any of them. His gaunt gray face never changed expression, and those dark, hollow eyes stared straight ahead. His twisted hands were covered by gloves made of soft gray leather, and he reached out with them from time to time and touched things as we passed, almost caressing them. It was almost repulsive for some reason. Finally, we wound up at the port rail of the officer's deck, and I showed him how to reach the gangplank.
I presume these are the officers' quarters along here, Mr. Bradell?
Yes, that's right. The port cabin's here, and the same thing over on the starboard. There are a few spares we use for sick bays when we have to.
I see. Nearly 400 people on board. Quite a responsibility, especially for the captain.
Yes, he has his hands full, all right.
And if something should happen to him?
Oh, well, I'm next in charge, only nothing will happen.
What causes that sound?
Right, Myro. Oh, they're the ship's engines. We'll be hearing them for the next 10 days.
Mr. Bradell, have you noticed that your ship is not floating level?
Huh?
This side of the deck, the port side, I think you said, is a good deal lower than the other.
Yeah. Yes, we do have a slight list of port. I hadn't noticed it. Well, it's nothing serious. We'll correct it with the ballast tanks as soon as we're underway. Now, sir, if you
Mr. Bradell, the captain is an old man. He's in bad shape.
Well, not according to the ship's doctor.
I am his doctor now.
Well, I don't believe I care to discuss it, sir.
Nor I. I only mention it. Thank you, Mr. Bradell, for showing me what I wish to see. I'll be going now.
Fine. Glad to have had you aboard. Now, straight down that ladder now. Across the deck. By dinner that evening, we were 140 miles at sea. The sun dropped behind a red haze and brought out a clear, starry night sky. Marilee had somehow wangled a place at my table, but held herself down to an occasional knowing grin that the other passengers probably misinterpreted. Well, I dodged her afterwards, checked over the cargo plan for a while, trying to find some reason for the strange port list that was getting a little more pronounced. And finally dropped into the wireless shack.
Oh, hi, Bradell. Get bored with social life?
Yeah. It's not the heat, it's the femininity.
You should squawk. The only time I see a girl on board this tub is when they come in to wire for money at the next port.
Well, I know one you can have.
And that's just the one I'd take, too. You're crazy, Bradell.
Maybe. You picked up anything?
No. I've been talking to the Toledo. It's about 100 miles ahead of us, making 17 knots. So we'll probably tail her all the way south.
Yeah.
Well, she started hitting some bad weather about an hour ago. Guess we'll be getting it, too. Probably make all your lady friends seasick.
Good. See if you can hurry it up. There's the captain in the chart room.
Yeah. Called from here 10 minutes ago. Hey, how'd you like that character that came aboard to see him?
Oh, Dr. Percival?
Uh-huh.
You can have him, too. Well, see you later.
Right. I'll let you know if I get any more in the storm.
Right. So long.
Oh, Mr. Bradell.
Huh? Oh, for...
Wait a minute, I wanted to... No, wait! Wait!
Good evening, Captain.
Oh, Mr. Riddell. I've been writing up the night orders. Who has the first watch? Driscoll?
Yes, sir. Then Eberly.
Good. By the way, Mr. Riddell, I appreciate your showing Dr. Percival around this afternoon.
Oh, I'm glad to do it, Captain. Say, is he an old friend of yours?
No. I met him quite recently. Mr. Riddell, what's this port list? It's getting worse. Shows 8 degrees on the clinometer now.
Well, I've had one pump on the ballast tank since 3 o'clock.
I better put on another one. It worries me. Bad weather up ahead, you know.
Yes, I just talked to Morris.
Wonder if we're making any water.
I don't think so. I'll check with the engine room if you like.
Yes, I wish you would. You can't afford to take any chances.
Riddell here, McGilvery. Captain wants your bilge soundings. Call him back. Right. Chart room.
I'm tired tonight, Mr. Riddell. Don't feel so well. Guess a man's bound to get old sometime.
Oh, well, that's still some years ahead of you, sir.
I doubt it. Doubt it very much. Well, can't do much about it. Oh, I meant to tell you. The steward reported this afternoon that he couldn't get into number 7 port cabin on the officer's deck.
He couldn't get into it?
The door seems to be stuck. Don't know what's wrong. We should look into it.
Oh, all right, sir. I'll have Morrow look into it. I think he's up on... That must be the engine room. Riddell. Right. All right, thanks. McGilvery says all the bilges are dry, sir.
Good. I guess there's no reason why they shouldn't be at that. A man gets old.
Yeah, well, I'll go to speak to Myro, Captain, and see about putting another pump on the ballast tanks.
Good. I'm going to turn in a few minutes. Good night, Mr. Riddell.
Good night, Captain.
Well, I knew you'd have to come out sometime.
Now, look, miss.
Relax, Bradell. You have a terribly romantic profile. We're getting closer to the tropics all the time.
I've been there before.
Yes, I'll bet you have.
Now, listen. If you want to
why don't you be human for once? You keep on and you'll end up looking like your ghoulish friend you were showing around this afternoon.
He was no friend of mine.
There should be a rule against taking passengers who look like that. It gives me the creeps.
Well, for your information, we didn't take him. He went ashore.
Oh, you'd be a good liar, Bradell, if I hadn't seen him myself a half an hour ago.
Huh? Where?
He went into one of those cabins right down there ahead of us.
On the officer's deck?
Mm-hmm.
You didn't notice which one?
Yes, I did, as a matter of fact. It was number 7.
7, huh? All right, come on.
Now, look, Bradell, I don't want to meet the guy. I don't want to have anything to do with him. It gave me the shivers just to look at him.
Did it? Is this the one?
Number 7.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You notice the little crossbar on the door handle?
Yes.
And it's turned straight up and down?
Yes.
That means the door's unlocked, huh? All right.
But it doesn't open.
That's right, because it's jammed. The steward reported it this afternoon, not a half hour ago, so you're not much of a liar yourself.
But I saw him go in this door.
Oh, sure
I tell you,
did.
I did. I saw him.
Anything wrong, Mr. Riddell?
Oh, Myro, no, nothing's wrong. This door is apparently jammed. We should try to get it open when you have a chance.
All right, sir.
And Myro, when you do, please advise this young lady. She's very curious about what's inside the cabin. Good night.
Mr. Riddell, wake up.
Myro, what's the matter?
Mr. Driscoll wants you on the bridge, sir. We got some pretty bad weather.
Yeah, I can feel it. How long's it been this way?
Since midnight, but it's getting worse, sir. Steward says some glass broke on the promenade deck. We've shipped water in the forward hold.
All right, Myro. Tell Driscoll I'll be on the bridge in 5 minutes. Get going. It was fairly bad on deck. Dawn is just breaking, with light enough to make out the long, high swells charging into us one after another, the tops of their crests ripped and torn by the driving wind. We were taking them on the quarter, rolling pretty badly and shipping water on the port bow at every roll. And if anything, that list had grown worse during the night.
Oh, glad you're here, Mr. Bradell. Having a rather bad go of it.
Yeah, well, we've seen worse. Has the captain been called?
No, sir. I thought I'd better wait for you.
Right. There's no need to call him. Yeah, where's Eberly?
Took some men down to the forward hold. We're shipping water on the port side every time.
Yeah, I know. Myro, see if you can get him on the phone. Good Lord. Well, we're listing 11 degrees now. Those pumps still going in the ballast tanks?
All night, sir. The tanks are 2/3 empty now. I can't understand it.
I think the phone is dead in the forward hold, Mr. Bradell. I can get no signal.
All right, Myro. You go on down there and see what the trouble is. Report back.
Yes, sir.
11 degrees. Can't see any reason why...
Oh, I'll take it, sir. Briscoe here. Yes, I know. All right, I'll speak to him. McGilvery says they're taking quite a beating in the engine room. Wants to know if we can't slack off this roll.
Yeah, I think we better. No use beating ourselves to death against those swells.
Glendenning here.
Bradell, Captain. Sorry to bother you.
It's all right, boy. What is it?
Permission to change course, sir. We're taking a bad swell on our quarter.
Granted. Whatever you think best.
Thank you, sir.
Need me for anything?
No, sir. I'll report later. All right, Mr. Driscoll, new course.
Yes, sir.
Ease off 14 degrees and then hold due south.
Ease off 14 degrees, hold due south.
Aye, sir.
I'm going to the wireless room.
All right, sir.
We ought to be out of this by afternoon.
It's windy, isn't it?
Marilee, what the devil are you doing on deck?
Getting rained on mostly.
Haven't you got any sense? We're shipping water on the foredeck. You want to get washed over?
Would you care, Bradell?
Look, it costs money to stop a ship. Now, listen. Get below.
I'm still waiting to see inside number 7 cabin.
Well, Bradell. They're kind of shaking us well before using, aren't they?
Yeah, just change the course. Should ease this roll a little. Morris, what's the nearest ship to us?
Still the Toledo, about 70 miles south. They say it's raining down there. Can you imagine?
There's nothing any closer, huh?
Well, nothing that I've been able... Hey, you don't figure we're...
No. There's no danger, Morris. Just routine.
Well, I'll see what I can pick up. Static's not making it... Oh. Morris. Yeah, he's here. It's you.
Thanks. Bradell speaking.
Driscoll, sir.
Yeah?
McGilvery just called. Wants permission to put all pumps to work on the bilge.
On the bilge? What for?
Says we're making water from somewhere. He's got 40 inches in the stokehold.
It's probably coming from that forward hole. As soon as Eberly gets the bulkhead closed, we'll be able to... Wait a second. Hold on. Myro just came in. What'd you find out?
Well, Mr. Eberly needs more men, sir. Some of those big crates shifted. They knocked out most of the forward bulkhead.
Knocked out? Mr. Driscoll.
Yes, sir.
Call the captain and ask him to meet me on the bridge immediately. The next hours were a nightmare. All through the day, into the evening. Terrified passengers huddled in the lounges in the salon, not knowing just how great the danger might be and fearing the worst. At 11 a.m., one of the pumps broke down, and the San Pedro settled a little lower as the water gained in the bilges. At 1:30, pump back in operation, and for a while we held our own. Down in the forward hold, men fought a heartbreaking battle in water up to their armpits and tried to throw up a temporary bulkhead. At 5:15, a heavy sea crashed through the steward's pantry, and 6 men vanished overboard in a smother of foam. All night long we fought the sea and lost the battle foot by foot. The strange list to port grew worse. By dawn we were leaning over 18 degrees. shipping tons of water with every roll.
Driscoll here. Right. All right, hold on. Mr. Bradell.
What is it, Driscoll?
McGilvery on the phone, sir. Says he's had to pull the fire in one boiler. He's going to in the second one. Wants to know if you'll reduce speed to steerage way. Otherwise, he hasn't got steam enough for the pumps.
All right. Tell him yes.
McGilvery, Bradell says okay. Take it now. 1/3 speed. All right, Helm. Speed to 1/3.
Aye, sir.
Confound it, sir. Captain ought to be here on the bridge. Been in his cabin for the last 4 hours. He's got no business to stay.
That'll do, Mr. Driscoll.
Oh. Yes, sorry, sir.
Forget it. You're right at that. We haven't got much time to make up our minds. Well, how are the passengers, Myro?
Fair morale, sir. The stewards are trying to keep them calm. They're all in life preservers.
Yeah, the way we're heeled over, we can't use the starboard boats now. And in another hour, there won't be enough steam for the winches on the port side. Well... Hello. Hello. Oh, what the devil. Now the captain's phone's dead, too. Myro.
Yes, Miss Riddell?
Go down to the captain's cabin. Ask him to come up.
Yes, sir.
We can't chance it any longer, Driscoll. At least we can start a call out while the captain's on his way here.
Right.
Morris here.
Riddell on the bridge. You still sending CQ?
Yes, sir. Repeats in 5 minutes.
You picked up anything?
The Toledo. There's a canard liner 100 miles north.
Yeah, that's not much help.
How bad off are we, sir?
Bad enough you can start sending an SOS now. Give me position on anything you pick up and stand by for further orders.
Right, sir.
This is it, then.
Well, what else, Mr. Driscoll? It may be too late as it is.
Mr. Riddell.
Yes, Myro?
The captain, sir. He's in his bunk, dead.
Good Lord. Well, he was right then. Men get old. Machines wear out.
I think he's been dead for some time, Mr. Riddell.
Probably so. Myro, did you ever get that port cabin door open?
I didn't have any chance, sir, but what difference does it make now?
None, I guess. I just wondered. All right, Mr. Driscoll.
Yes, sir.
Put a general order on the PA. Emergency. All officers stand by boat station. Prepare to abandon ship.
Yes, sir. Now?
Go ahead.
Attention. All officers stand by boat stations. Prepare to abandon ship. All officers stand by boat stations. Prepare to abandon ship. All officers stand by boat stations.
Her brain already gone. Ship was dying. I knew that. I stayed alone on the bridge, tried to quiet her death throes, tried to hold back the confusion of idiocy that shook her limbs and parts. The wind was gone now, and a thick gray fog blanketed the decks and the sea beyond. Boats were lowered and swallowed up in it, one by one. Some of them lowered poorly to spill their human freight into the hungry, wet mouth of the sea. We were low in the water, down at the head. Already the bows were awash. But suddenly I noticed that the strange list of port was no longer with us. Why, we were floating level. And then for no sane reason, I wondered if the changed angle had let the door of number 7 cabin swing open. I left the bridge and hurried forward. The door was ajar and swung gently with the movement of the ship. I pushed it open and stepped into the cabin. It was empty. In the air was a strange, dry, musty smell, like old flowers long pressed in the pages of a book. At that moment, I turned, and the water was moving slowly toward me up the passageway. I heard Myro shout the order for casting off the last boat. I left the cabin, ran for the bridge. Marilee.
Glad to see me?
Well, do you know the last boat just went over the side?
Sure. I was about to get in a boat, and I changed my mind.
Why?
When it's your time, you can't do much about it. And I knew it was when he first looked at me.
What are you talking about? When who looked at you?
That guy you called Dr. Percival.
He's not on board. I just came from cabin 7. It's empty.
Of course it is. Now. He's out prowling around the boat somewhere.
I saw him go ashore before we left New York.
And I saw him 3 minutes ago.
You're crazy.
He was standing beside that lifeboat, the one I didn't get in.
That lifeboat was your last chance to live. Why didn't you take it?
I thought it wouldn't be so lonesome to come here and die with you.
But you wouldn't have died.
Oh, Bradell, don't you know yet? It wouldn't have made any difference no matter what we did. Not with Dr. Percival on board.
What has Dr. Percival got to do with it?
Everything. When that lifeboat hit the water, it capsized. I knew it would. So you see, I'd have died anyway. Bradell, the water's coming up faster now.
Yeah. It's sinking fast. We'll go under any second.
He must be on his way here. We should be hearing his footsteps.
Who in the name of heaven is Dr. Percival?
Who do you think he is?
Escape is produced and directed by Norman MacDonald. Tonight we have brought you SS San Pedro by James Gould Cousins, adapted for radio by Les Crutchfield, with editorial supervision by John Dunkel. Featured in tonight's cast were John Daner and Charlotte Lawrence, with Jeff Corey, Don Diamond, Harry Bartell, Larry Dobkin, and Jay Novello. Special music by Ivan Ditmars. Next week.
You were standing in the light of an arc lamp by a cathedral in Mexico City, looking at a body lying in the grass. And then a great fear comes over you, and you wonder if you are a haunted man.
Next week, we escape with Ralph Bates' most unusual story, The Haunted Man. Good night, then, until this same time next week, when once again we offer you Escape. Roy Rowan speaking for CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston, the hot whole wheat cereals in the red and white checkerboard packages present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. Travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol! In today's transcribed Space Patrol adventure, Cadet Happy is approaching a small fortress in a jungle clearing on Planet X, where Commander Corey is being held captive by Prince Baccarati and Dr. Malengro. Baccarati glances through the gun port.
Fool? The little fool?
What are you talking about, Baccarati?
Coming across the clearing from the jungle. It's a Space Patrol man. You're a Cadet.
Happy.
Watch Corey, Malengro. I'll take care of the Cadet with this blast gun.
Baccarati, don't.
Look, Corey. See what happens to those who defy the will of Prince Baccarati?
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Revolt of the Space Rat. Commander Corey speaking with a special message for all space patrollers. You have only 3 more days to enter the Name the Planet contest. The contest closes December 1st. That means you have only 3 more days to win the gigantic rocket clubhouse and $1,500 cash. Only 3 more days to win one of the 750 Schwinn bikes. Yes, this is the contest that gives you 750 chances to win a wonderful Schwinn varsity bicycle. And there's still time to enter and win if you hurry. Just go to your grocer's today for some instant Ralston. Right on the back of the instant Ralston package, it tells you how to enter the contest. So don't wait. Don't miss out on winning the rocket clubhouse and $1,500. Don't miss out on winning a streamlined Schwinn bicycle or one of the 1,000 other swell prizes. If you get going on the contest right away, today you have every chance to win. But you must act fast. There are only 3 days left. Right now, this morning, take off for your grocers and get some instant Ralston. Remember, right on the back of the instant Ralston package, you'll find the easy contest rules that will help you get your entry in the Name the Planet contest right away. So get instant Ralston today, and I'll bet you win a prize. And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Revolt of the Space Rat. With Prince Baccarati and Dr. Malengro locked securely in the aft compartment, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy settle back comfortably at the controls of the Terra 5. The giant Planet X grows smaller in the rear view scope as their spaceship approaches the orbit of Pluto on their long journey toward the man-made planet Terra.
Hey, Commander, now that Baccarati's out of the picture, what's going to happen to Planet X? Will it become one of the United Planets?
Well, that's a difficult question, Happy. It's something the Secretary General and the other planetary leaders will have to work out.
Baccarati sure was stupid. I'll bet he's back there in the aft compartment kicking himself for being such a fool.
I doubt it. If I know Baccarati, he and Malengro are busy thinking up ways to escape.
A lot of good that'll do them. In a few hours, we'll have them on Terra under heavy guard. Then it'll be a criminal rehabilitation center for both of them.
Until then, we've got to be on the alert, just in case some of his agents make a desperate attempt to rescue him.
Yeah, but they don't know he's been captured. His men think his ship is sunk in the great sea of the Planet X.
Just the same, I'm taking no chances. Watch those viewscopes, Pat. Meantime, a few thousand DUs away on the barren, airless third moon of Pluto, a man sits in a sealed shelter and wearily turns the dials of a spaceophone receiver. Nearby, on a bunk, his companion stares at the ceiling with dark, deep-set eyes. With effort, the man on the bunk raises his head.
Turn it off, Pete.
All right, boy, all right. Now, you lie down and relax. Never mind me. Keep covered up.
I'm hotter than inside of Mercury right now, Pete. The fever's burning me up.
Well, listen. I better go back to that space phone in case Sarkis try to contact us.
He ain't going to contact us, Pete. You know it. Sarkis through with us. Why don't you be smart and blast off in that lunar job?
Leave you alone?
Not your fault. I come down with space fever and can't stand high acceleration. This little lunar ship of ours will take you off this moon. Now get going.
All right. I'll go.
Now you're talking sense.
I'm going to contact a ship that can get you off this moon without shaking you to pieces. A ship with enough power to reach escape velocity real drag.
Are you crazy? The only ship that'd bother would be a space patrol cruiser.
Maybe.
You know what'll happen if the space patrol gets a look at this setup. You'll end up in a criminal rehabilitation center.
Maybe I can convince them with just a couple of prospectors.
Why don't you space it then to help us if we're going this far?
Those Sark intercepted the message. How long do you think we'd last? You just leave this.
Commander, I picked up something in the starboard viewscope. It seems to be coming from the direction of Pluto's third moon, sir. A very small ship. Well, probably lunar class.
Lunar class cruiser PG-791 calling Space Patrol Cruiser emergency.
He sighted us, sir.
Commander Corey aboard Space Patrol battle cruiser Terra 5. Go ahead, lunar cruiser.
Commander Corey.
That's right. What's your trouble?
Well, it's not me, Commander. It's my partner. We've got to get him off moon number 3.
Is anything wrong with your ship?
No.
Then why can't you get him off?
Well, not with this crate, I can't. Acceleration would black him out for keeps.
Who is this speaking?
I'm Pete Skiller. Partner's Troy Matthews. He's down with a bad case of space fever.
What are you doing on moon number 3?
Prospector. We got a shelter rigged up in a crate. Commander, old Troy needs your help real bad.
All right, Skiller. Head back to the moon. We'll follow you.
Thanks, Commander.
Me and Troy will never forget this.
All right, Skillet. Hurry out.
What do you make of it? Think there's something up in it?
I don't know. At least it's unlikely that Baccarati's gang is behind us. Even if they know we've got Baccarati, there's no way they could have known we'd be on a vector close to Pluto's third moon.
Yeah, they wouldn't have had time to lay a trap.
I hate to take time out with our prisoners aboard, but after all, a human life may be at stake.
Buzz and Hattie follow the small ship to the third moon and carefully scan the terrain as Pete Skiller lands inside a small crater. Skiller, clad in a spacesuit, waits for them beside the airlock leading to the shelter. Donning their own spacesuits, Buzz and Hattie land near the lunar cruiser. A few moments later, they're inside the airlock talking to Skiller.
My partner's in pretty bad shape, Commander.
How long has he been here?
About 10 days.
10 days? You mean this is the first attempt he's made to get help? Why didn't you spacephone Pluto's Space Patrol?
But Troy's awful stubborn, Commander, awful stubborn. Here, he's right in here.
You lead the way, Skiller. Keep an eye on him.
Yes, sir. Well, those Troy's asleep. Hey, partner, wake up. We got company.
Oh, hold it, Skiller. He does look bad.
Yeah, I'll see.
Stuff him into a spacesuit and carry him out to your ship.
Yeah, just a minute. You won't go stuffing a sick man into a spacesuit. Got to be very careful about moving him.
Sure. Anything you say, Commander.
Frankly, I'd hate to be responsible for what might happen to a man in his condition. Moving him now might get fatal.
Well, we've got to get him to a doctor.
It might be wiser to bring a doctor here. I've seen enough cases of space fever to know when it's dangerous to move a sick man.
Commander.
Yes, sir.
Maybe this isn't such a good idea, but... Well, I was thinking about someone on our ship.
Malengro?
Yes, sir. I know he isn't a licensed space doctor, but he knows a lot about it.
It's invaluable to Baccarati along that line.
Question is, could we trust him?
For right now, both Malengro and Baccarati might jump at a chance to do something decent, just for the sake of the record.
Yeah, since there's no chance to escape.
You stay here, Hap. I'll go back to the ship and get Malengro.
In an aft compartment of the Terra 5, Prince Baccarati and Dr. Malengro speculate on why their long flight to Terra has been interrupted.
What is Corey up to? Where have we landed?
Perhaps he's decided to take us to Pluto instead of flying straight through to Terra.
This where Pluto would be out of the ship by now?
Perhaps, Your Highness, Corey landed for minor repairs. At any rate, every moment of delay increases our chances for escape. Your Highness, someone's at the door. Commander Corey.
All right, Malengro, you can come out.
Well, Corey, it's about time you were putting me in a more comfortable quarters.
Not you, Baccarati. I just want Malengro.
I demand to know where we are.
Keep quiet. Malengro, you know how to treat a case of space fever?
Oh. Cadet Happy. Sick.
Malengro, come out here in the corridor so we can talk. Come on.
Don't leave me, Malengro. Corey has no right to...
I asked you a question, Malengro. Can you treat space fever?
I will match my skill as a space physician with any doctor in the solar system.
Now's your chance to do something decent for a change. There's a man here on Pluto's third moon with a bad case of space fever. He's got to be moved in this ship.
Excuse me, did you say Pluto's third moon?
That's right. The man's a space prospector, so his partner says. If we can get him off here, we may be able to save his life. You could use a good deed on your record, Malengro. How about it?
Very well, Commander. If you will give me a medical kit, I will see what I can do.
All right, get into a spacesuit.
A few moments later, Buzz escorts Dr. Malengro through the airlock into the shelter on the third moon.
Do everything you can. Old Troy and I have been pals for 20 years.
All right, Skiller. Let's let the doctor alone. Happy?
Yes, sir?
Go with Malengro. Keep an eye on him. Help him if he needs a hand.
All right, Commander.
Skiller, you stay here with me.
Oh, but my partner, can't I?
There's nothing we can do. Besides, I want to ask you some questions.
Come on, Malengro, in here.
So you're prospecting?
Yep. Can't say we're rich, but we've had a lot of fun.
This is a fancy layout here, Skiller. Lots of expensive equipment.
Oh, well, we collected a few odds and ends. It's in the racket long enough.
You seem to have collected everything but prospecting equipment.
What's that?
You don't have any testing instruments or digging tools or ore samples. Just what are you here for, Skiller?
Well, what's the matter? I was afraid you'd get around to that. Since you've been so good about helping old Troy in there, I'll tell you. Troy and me have had a run of tough luck lately, so we tied up with Jano Sarker.
Jano Sarker? He's the biggest crook on Pluto. I know it. How do you fit in with him?
Well, Troy and me have been the sort of go-between. Sarker's gang robs the spaceship, turns loose over to us. We hide it here on the third moon till he sends somebody after.
So that's how he operates.
I wouldn't tell you this if Sarker hadn't let old Troy down and him fit the way he is. I'm good and mad. I'm going to tell you something maybe you don't know, Commander. Sarko's big, but he's not the top one. Sarko's taking orders from somebody else. Who, I don't know.
In the next room, Dr. Malengo examines the unconscious man. As Happy watches carefully, ray gun drawn. Malengo opens the medical kit and, with the sure movement of a professional, prepares the patient for emergency treatment. Then he selects an electro-injector from the kit and opens the patient's throat.
I'm going to need help, Cadet. What do you want me to do? I'm going to administer something to make him immune to acceleration effects. Sometimes there's an involuntary reaction to the electroneedle. Will you hold the patient, please? You mean hold his wrist? Yes. Hold him very tightly. He must remain absolutely motionless for 5 seconds. All right. I've got him. Steady now. This is a very delicate process. Oh, the injector slipped. Got you in the hand. What a pity. You can't even speak, let alone move. Now, I'll just take your ray gun. It will be some time before you're able to use it. Thank you. Now to take care of...
Oh, Mr. Commander, that's all I know about Sarko. How about your partner? He might know a little more, Commander, but we've been pretty close, Toy and me. I don't think he knows who Sarko's working for either.
Don't move, Commander.
Malengo! Hey, what's going on here?
Help me get Corey into the ship.
You crazy? He's the commander.
Do as I say. I'll explain to your boss, Sarka. You'll dispose of the cadet when he comes to take you and your partner off the moon. Mr. Corey. He's going back to Planet X.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment. You have 1,750 chances to win a prize in the Name the Planet contest. That's right, Space Patrollers. If you act fast, if you act within the next 3 days, you may still win one of the 1,750 prizes in this amazing contest. But this is your last chance. You have only 3 more days to win the gigantic Rocket Clubhouse and $1,500. Only 3 more days to win one of the 750 Schwinn varsity bicycles. Only 3 more days to win one of the 1,000 other prizes. 1,000 pieces of real Space Patrol equipment. 250 powerful autosonic rifles, 250 Husky outer space helmets, 250 official Space Patrol emergency kits, and 250 handsome stainless steel Space Patrol wristwatches. But there's no time to waste. Only 3 days left. So go to your grocers today and get a package of Instant Ralston, the new package with the picture of Commander Corey on the front. Now, on the back of the Instant Ralston package, you'll find the easy rules that'll tell you how you can win one of the 1,750 sensational prizes in the Name the Planet contest. So get some Instant Ralston at your grocers right away, today. And now, back to our Space Patrol adventure, The Revolt of the Space Rats. While holding Prince Baccarati and Dr. Malengo and their ship as captives, Buzz and Happy responded to a distress call from a lunar cruiser that led them to Pluto's third moon. There, Pete Skiller, a self-styled prospector, led them to his partner who was suffering from space fever. Knowing the man's condition to be serious, Buzz brought Dr. Malengo in to treat him, leaving Happy to watch the wily doctor. Malengo used an instrument from the medical kit to paralyze Happy, and then, taking Happy's ray gun, Malengo rushed to the airlock of the prospector's shelter and overpowered Buzz, forcing Pete Skiller to carry Buzz to his ship. Now, Buzz regains consciousness in the control compartment of the Terra 5, with Baccarati standing over him with a ray gun.
Our position is reversed now, Commander. You are the prisoner.
Where's Cadet Happy?
Why, back on moon number 3, Commander. But don't worry. He'll be well taken care of.
But it wasn't, Frank. Pete Skiller's working for you.
Pete Skiller? Oh, that old space friend. Yes, he's working for me. But he didn't know it until an hour ago. It was purely by accident that you landed on the moon.
And Daniel Sarka is one of your men.
Yes, Commander. A very valuable cog in my machine. If you had succeeded in getting me to Terra for a brainograph test, you would have learned something very interesting.
But you're going to tell it to me anyway, I suppose.
Yes, because you can't do anything about it. Sarka is about to destroy Pluto City. The scheduled time is, let's see, just 36 hours from now.
Destroy Pluto City? Well, why? What good will that do you?
It will wipe out the nearest Space Patrol base to Planet X.
You'd wipe out an entire city just to destroy a few Space Patrol ships?
Of course. is more economical that way, and less risk for Sarka. He can drop a cosmic bomb from a spaceship after his men are safely out of the city.
What about Happy? What are you going to do with him?
I haven't given it a thought, Commander. I suggest you worry about what is going to happen to you when I get you back to my castle on planet X.
In the shelter on Pluto's third moon, Happy is recovering from the paralyzing effects of the electroneedle injection as Pete Skiller hovers anxiously over his unconscious partner, Troy Matthews.
Troy. Speak to me. Troy, can you hear me?
Skiller, listen to me.
He's barely breathing. Cadet, can't you do something?
Look, Skiller, I know you want to help your partner. Why not?
Well, Sarka will hear it. He'll have his men blast us before help can get here.
So you're working for John Sarka, huh?
Yes. First, I thought it was just plain space pirates. Now I know it's something bigger. I wish me and Troy had stayed clear of it.
Something bigger? What do you mean?
There's somebody above Sarka. The doctor was here. He has something to do with it.
Malengo. That means Prince Baccarati.
Yes, this is Dr. Malengo. He said he'd have Sarka come here for me and Troy. Think he will?
Think he will. I'm afraid he will.
What do you mean, sir?
If Sarka shows up, well, he'll see to it that none of us get off this moon alive.
What are we going to do?
Get in your lunar ship and blast off.
What about old Troy? We can't leave old Troy.
Malengro's taking Commander Corey back to Planet X. Is that right?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Well, if he succeeds, there are more lives than Troy's at stake. If we rescue the commander, we can save Troy, too.
All right. Tell me how.
Well, we can't hope to overtake the commander's ship in your little lunar job. If we could only... Hey, what's that stuff over there, stacked in the corner?
I don't know. Troy and me lugged it in. Sarka's gang took it off the cargo ship. Some sort of electronic equipment, I guess.
Yeah, it's spaceophone neutralizing equipment. Frequency dampers. It blocks out spaceophone signals.
Reckon that won't do us any good.
Wait a minute. Baccarati's robot patrol ships.
Oh, what about it?
Well, those unmanned ships Baccarati has circling Planet X. If the ship approaches, they send out warnings to his castle.
That's all?
Yeah, but with one of these neutralizers, we could block out the warning.
Son, you aren't thinking of sneaking up to Baccarati's castle in that little lunar ship of mine? Oh, you ain't got power enough to make a slow landing on a big planet like Planet X? You'd be smashed to bits.
Well, wait a minute. We could take over one of those robot ships. That could land on Planet X and maybe overtake Baccarati.
Well, maybe you got something, son. Yeah, but what about old Troy?
Well, we'll have to leave him here, Skiller, but, well, it's his only chance. And ours.
All right. So long, partner. We'll be right back.
With Happy at the controls, the small lunar ship speeds toward Planet X. As they near the defense perimeter, Happy cuts on the spaceophone damper to blot out warning signals from the robot patrol ships. A few moments later, a robot ship appears on the viewscope, and Happy changes vector. The sensitive detecting devices on the robot pick up the lunar ship, and the spaceophone faithfully transmits data to the receptors on Planet X. But the signals are neutralized. And skillfully, Happy joins airlocks with the robot ship, and he and Pete Skiller go aboard.
Great swooping comet. What a ship. Not a soul aboard.
That's right, Skiller. Circle Planet X on automatic pilot.
You run it by hand?
Sure, it's just as simple as your ship. All you have to do is kick this lever up to the pilot control position. There. Now we're on manual. This section of the panel has all the controls we need. Look familiar?
Yeah, sure does. Like my own ship, almost.
Right. Now we'll just let your lunar cruiser loose and head for Planet X.
Sorry, Cadet. I got other plans.
What do you mean? Hey, where'd you get that gun?
Out of my ship. Now, let's not have any trouble, son. Just step back out of the way.
Skiller, what are you going to do? I thought we were going to...
I'm going back and pick up old Troy. This ship can land on Planet X and can blast off of Pluto's third moon without hurting my partner.
Now, Skiller, I thought we agreed to rescue Commander Corey first.
Sorry, son. I reckon I just ain't that big. 20 years it's been me and old Troy. But it's fought for us, so we just didn't get in the habit of fighting for anybody else. Now, if you'll just step down away from those controls.
Well, okay, Skiller. I'll step down. Now get this, Skiller. I'm heading for Planet X. With this robot ship, maybe we can overtake Baccarati and trick him into thinking his castle is surrounded. I can do it by myself if I have to, but I'll leave it up to you. Whose side are you on?
Me? Why, son, there ain't no question about it. I'm on our side.
With Prince Baccarati at the controls, the Terra 5 flashes across the darkness of space toward Planet X. Enjoying the turn of events, Baccarati keeps Buzz in the control compartment under the watchful eye of Dr. Malengro and his ray gun.
In a few minutes, we will be safely inside my castle, Commander. I will see that you are with me when the report comes in on the destruction of Pluto City.
Baccarati, listen. You've got to stop that plan. Call off Sarka.
Call him up? Why should I?
Wait, listen.
a signal from a robot ship.
What is it, Malengo?
It's a warning. No.
Malengo, what is it?
It's a signal from robot patrol ship X-34, Your Highness. Enemy ships are approaching Planet X.
Space Patrol. Where are they?
Wait. If you please. Excellency, some of them have landed and near your castle.
What?
Your castle's surrounded.
Keep Corey covered. I'll fool the Space Patrol yet. I'll land on Planet X.
Your Highness, you can't.
Not near the castle, you fool. It's emergency blockhouse number 5. Hundreds of miles out of the castle.
Near the jungle?
Yes. If the Space Patrol ships are grounded, they'll never be able to locate us. Keep tuned to that robot ship.
Yes, Your Highness.
Feverishly, Cadet Happy works the code sending apparatus of the robot ship, while Pete Skiller follows the Terrified toward Planet X.
Cadet, I think they're going to land. Good. I'll cut out the code signal. Cadet, take a look at that Dusco. We've landed the commander's ship. That means Baccarati will probably be leaving the ship.
Yeah. Then what do we do?
We'll set this robot ship down in the jungle and then work toward the commander's ship.
Well, what if they see this ship?
Well, it's one of Baccarati's own ships, so maybe they won't. Maybe it won't alarm them. Anyway, it's a chance we've got to take.
While Malengo holds Buzz at gunpoint, Prince Baccarati sets the Space Patrol battlecruiser down in the jungle near a domed structure of concrete. Then the Prince and Malengo force Buzz out of the ship and into the squat fortress.
There, Commander. You'll be safe here from your own men. Watch him, Malengo.
Yes, Your Highness. This isn't going to get you anywhere, Baccarati. If Space Patrol ships are surrounding your castle, they'll have seen my ship land here in the jungle.
Oh, I'm not worried, Commander. Not worried at all. I intend to make myself comfortable here for a few hours until I hear from Sarka that Pluto City has been destroyed. Keep the Commander covered.
Your Highness, wake up. Prince Baccarati, wake up.
Your
Highness, look through the gun port. Someone's approaching.
What?
Across the clearing from the jungle.
It's a Space Patrol. The Cadet. Watch Corey, Malengo. I'll take care of the Cadet with this blast gun.
Baccarati, don't.
Watch this, Corey. See what happens to those who defy the will of Prince Baccarati. That was close. Now I'll finish him.
Your Highness, look out!
Malengo! You're right, gun.
Hold him, Your Highness.
Got him. Shoot.
Yes, Excellency.
Give me that. Oh. He's got the gun. Got the light.
I got it. Run, Your Highness. Run to the door.
Commander.
Just a minute, Hap. Commander, you all right? Yeah. Baccarati and Malengo got away. Where'd they go? That door in the back. They cut off the lights and made for that door. Let's blast it open. We'll get him. Hold it, Happy. Let him go.
Huh?
Right now, there's something more important than catching Baccarati. What do you mean, sir?
Commander, I saw him.
Killer.
You better hurry. They headed into the jungle. I'll show you. They just popped out of a hole in the ground and dashed into the trees.
Well, then we don't have to break the door down. They came out of that passage. If we hurry...
Hold it, Happy. We're going back to the ship.
And let Baccarati get away?
We can't spare the time, Happy. If we blast off now, we can save Pluto City.
Pluto City?
Yes. I've picked up enough from Baccarati to round up Sarka and his gang before the city's destroyed. But we'll have to hurry.
Sarka, I'm with you, Commander. I'll help you, and so will good old Troy. That is, if you'll take him off that move.
I certainly will. I'm very anxious to talk to good old Troy.
I admit we did wrong, Commander, but I'll help you round up Sarka, and that's the honest truth.
All right, Skiller. Let's get going. Come on, Hap.
Yes, sir. But I sure hate to give up hunting for Baccarati. Hey, look, Ruckus, what was that?
Something in the jungle, Hap. Taking up where we left off.
Left off what, sir?
Hunting for Baccarati. Come on, let's go. An action preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure in just a moment. Space Patrollers, this is Commander Corey. Today is positively the last time I'll be able to tell you about the Name the Planet contest. You have only 3 days left to win the huge rocket clubhouse and $1,500, or a Schwinn bike, or one of the 1,000 other fine prizes. You must get your entry in the contest in the next 3 days. So today, right now, go to your grocer's and get some instant Ralston. Look for the package with my picture in the front. And don't forget, the easy rules for entering the contest are right on the back of the instant Ralston package. So act fast, act now, and win one of the terrific prizes. You've still got every chance to win if you get instant Ralston now. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy have cornered Prince Baccarati in a spaceship on the surface of Planet X. Holding a half-conscious man before him as a shield, Baccarati works his way toward the controls. All right, Baccarati. Let go of the professor.
Don't come any nearer, Corey.
You're all through, Baccarati. Get away from those controls. It won't do you any good to try to blast off now.
It's this spacephone I'm interested in. There. Now stay where you are, Corey. The transmitter is turned to a frequency that will set off a Krakenite bomb. One more step and I'll destroy Terra.
Be sure to join us next week for the thrilling story, Baccarati's Secret Weapon, when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Debris. Other players were Bela Kovach, Norman Jolly, and Ken Mayer. Dick Tufeld speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when Instant Ralston and Regular Ralston again present Space Patrol! This is Dick Tufeld in Los Angeles reporting on the first airplane with swept-back wings used in the U.S. Air Force, North American's F-86 Sabre jet fighter. In a moment, we'll hear from George Welch, the famous test pilot of the Sabre jet. The Sabre is 37 feet long, weight 8 tons. Wings are swept back at a 35-degree angle. Top speed more than 650 miles per hour. Now, George Welch, reported at Edwards Air Force Base.
I was lucky enough to fly the F-86 Sabre jet for the first time. First time up, or the 50th, every flight is important. That's why I have to keep in top shape. I like to eat good food with lots of energy in it. Rice Chex and Wheat Chex meet that test, and they taste exactly right. I think you'll like them, too.
No other cereal, puff or flake, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. So take a tip from George Welch, Joe Lynch, and other top test pilots. Make your cereals Rice Chex and Wheat Chex. All you Space Patrollers know that fire can cause a lot of trouble, so be careful with matches. Be careful when you're around the stove. Protect your home from fire. Be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.